high society heiress fainted and discovered she could hear everyone's inner thoughts. She looked at her beloved, who was trembling, as he cried, only to hear him complaining that faking these tears was exhausting. Why hasn't Sister Lu come to comfort me yet? If it were before, and I cried like this, she would have been heartbroken for me long ago after 5 years abroad. Could she have really fallen for that bastard Lin Fang? This time I must make her divorce Lin Fang quickly. The son-in-law of the Liu family can only be me. I want to become the most noble man in H City. Lu Ruyan's pupils contracted. She couldn't believe these were Fang Yuan's inner thoughts. They had known each other for over 10 years. He always acted as if he were above worldly desires. But now his mind was filled with such things. She felt that being able to hear inner thoughts was too absurd. She must have hit her head too hard and was imagining things. But then she heard another voice. Even though Sister Lu and Lin Fang are married, heart belongs to me. All my efforts over the years were not in vain. I absolutely cannot panic now. As long as I'm back, no matter what I say, Sister Lu will listen to me. Money, identity, status, everything that belongs to Sister Lu is mine. Just Liu Ruyan squeezed her eyes shut, clearly hearing Fang Yuan's incessant rambling thoughts. She could no longer deceive herself. The blood in her veins felt like it was freezing. What did the man she had loved for years take her for? Liu Ruyan's eyes flew open in extreme anger. She glared fiercely at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was frightened by her gaze. Anxiety filled his heart. He grabbed her arm and asked in a low voice, "Sister Lu, what's wrong?" Liu Ruyan did not reply. Fang Yuan's anxiety grew stronger. As he was about to say something more, the doctor reminded them that the patient needed quiet rest. Family members, please take note. As soon as the doctor finished speaking, Shuru pulled Fang Yuan's hand off Liu Ruyan's arm and disgustedly threw it aside. Yuan suppressed his displeasure and said gently, "Auntie, I want to stay here and take care of Sister Liu." At this moment, my expression was calm. I spoke up. "In what capacity are you staying to take care of her? I am Luian's husband. Taking care of her is my job." "Who the hell are you?" Although I plan to divorce Liu Ruyan and stay away from them, but before that, I have to vent all the anger from my past life. Fang Yuan bit his lip and turned his head to look at Liu Ruyan in my memory. Whenever Fang Yuan showed this aggrieved expression, Liu Ruyan would make the person who wronged Fang Yuan pay the price. But this time, Liu Ruyan's expression was placid. She didn't even spare him a glance. Fang Yuan clenched the hem of his shirt with both hands. Her eyes welled with tears. Sister Lu Ruyan spoke her first words after waking up. "I want to rest. Everyone get out." She had ignored Fang Yuan's grievance and didn't even want him to stay. Fang Yuan's face instantly turned pale. He didn't understand why Liu Ruyan had suddenly become so cold. When they spoke on the phone before he boarded the plane, he could still feel her warmth. But now was clearly not the time to clarify things. Fang Yuan wiped his tears and forced a smile. His teary eyes were filled with hurt. "You get some rest. I'll come visit you again tomorrow." But in his heart, he thought, "It must be that while I was away, that bastard Lin Fang has bewitched Sister Lu. I knew he was no good from the start. Following Sister Lu around all day. He's absolutely shameless. Sister Lu's husband should be me. Only by becoming Sister Leia's husband can I escape my current lowly status." Liu Ruyan couldn't listen anymore. She gritted her teeth and growled, "Everyone get out." Xuan sniffled and quietly got up to leave, his back a lonely figure. Shuru tucked Lu Yan in and said, "Ruan, get some good rest. Father and I will be right outside. Just call if you need anything." Lu Ruyan nodded and closed her eyes. "I just wanted to leave quickly." But just as I was about to turn, Lu Yan suddenly opened her eyes from the hospital bed. "You stay." I lowered my eyes and gave a mocking smile, walking towards the hospital bed. Only Liu Ruyan and I were left in the hospital room without the noisy inner thoughts. Rian's tense body relaxed, but as soon as she relaxed, intense pain shot through her entire body. I asked indifferently, "Are you in pain?" Lu Ran didn't say anything. I raised an eyebrow, sat on the chair by the bed, and asked again, "Are you itchy?" Embarrassed to tell the doctor. Liu Ruyan's gaze was sharp. As if asking how I knew, I gave a faint smile and said nothing. I thought to myself, after all, we were husband and wife for 3 years. How could I not see it? Lu Yan frowned slightly, looking completely baffled. 3 years as husband and wife. Is he talking about me? But we only got married yesterday. Do you want some water? Lu Ruyan nodded. I stood up to get water, staring blankly at the flowing water. I did it. I managed to face Lu Ruyan calmly. Does this mean I can let go of this woman? Could I cast aside the past from my previous life and try to start a new life? Actually, thinking about it, no one can live without someone else in this world. There's no love that doesn't fade. I should look forward, too. Absolutely cannot carry my love for Lu Ran into a new life. I turned off the water dispenser and returned with a cotton swab. You can't drink much. It'll use a cotton swab to moisten your lips. She looked at me silently. Although she found my inner thoughts strange, she could sense that I once loved her deeply. This contradicted her perception. She always thought I married her because the Line family was in decline and wanted to use the Liu family's power. There was no affection involved, thinking of my power, fawning parents. A look of disgust flashed in her eyes, feeling that such parents could not raise a good son. But now, reality had slapped her heart in the face. The man she thought loved her was actually full of schemes, while the man she thought was scheming was the one who truly loved her. Ridiculous. I put the cup down and sat. After a moment I didn't want to face her. I stood up and said, "I'll call a nurse to take care of you." Luan's face darkened. "No, I don't like strangers taking care of me." My eyes widened. I suspected she'd hit her head too hard. After a moment, I sat back down and said, "I've already told your mother. I'll take care of you until you're discharged, then we'll get a divorce." Saying the word, divorce, my shoulders slumped in immense relief, as if the nightmare of my past life had vanished. Yuan showed no emotion. The word divorce didn't stir any emotion in her at all. I lowered my head and stared at the floor, a mocking smile flashing in my eyes. How foolish. In my past life, I actually thought I could use love and wholehearted companionship to move this woman. She's clearly such a cold-blooded and heartless person. She has so little love to give, and she gave it all to Fang Yuan. There was nothing left for anyone else. Past life. Liu Ran gradually realized something incredible. I have experienced a future that others have not. This was beyond her comprehension. If it were before, she would have found it absolutely unbelievable. But now, she felt it was an impossible. She stared at me intently. She got married. If we divorce now, what will outsiders think? Have you thought about that? I didn't look up, missing the complex emotions on her face and in her eyes. We don't have to announce it for now. There's no such thing as a wall that can keep a secret forever. What does she mean? I suggested we divorce. Shouldn't she have happily agreed immediately? After all, she hates doing things she doesn't want to do. Being forced to marry me made her furious. From then on, she grew to despise me even more. I took a deep breath and pushed away the bad memories. I looked up confused and said, "You don't want to divorce me?" Luan avoided my gaze. "It's not that I don't want to. Divorcing now is not a good idea. It will cause trouble for me." I nodded. "Fine, I understand." Luan frowned. "What do you understand?" She wanted to know, but my mind was blank. She had no way of knowing the answer. "You should sleep a little more." "Well, prepare food for you when you wake up." I stood up and Lurian quickly asked, "Where are you going?" "You being here won't disturb my sleep." I looked utterly astonished. Lurian gave a light cough and turned her head away. No, if I wasn't mistaken, she was actually blushing. I must be seeing things. Luan's expression changed, glaring at me unkindly. I was startled and tilted my head in confusion. "What's wrong?" She pressed her lips together and said nothing. I calmly sat back down in the chair and looked at my phone. Lu Ruyon was seriously injured. Her vitality was greatly damaged. Not long after, she fell asleep. I looked at her, my hatred unclear, but it was like a needle pricking me occasionally. My heart was in turmoil. I got up, left the room, and went to the restroom. After coming out, I saw Fang Yuan standing by the wall. I wasn't surprised. Fang Yuan spoke first. "Did you say something about me in front of Sister Lu?" When Fang Yuan faced me, he never looked me straight in the eye, as if he were perpetually a cut above me, carrying an air of contempt. This was the confidence Liu Yan had given him. I smiled and said, "Take a guess." Fang Yuan was about to lose his composure. "Lin Fang, you should know. I don't want to say anything too harsh to you. Sister Lu and I are childhood sweethearts. If it weren't for Mr. Lu's disapproval and calling off your engagement to Sister Lu, I'm afraid Sister Lu and I would have been married long ago." I looked straight into his furious eyes and said with a grin, "So what? Childhood sweethearts and mutual affection. So what? The one who married her is me. Your jealousy is useless. You can only watch us be affectionate to some extent. Besides Fang Yuan himself, I'm the one who understands him best. Of course, I know exactly where to stab to make it hurt the most." As expected, his heart started beating faster. His breathing quickened. The vein on his forehead throbbed. "Lin Fang, you really have the nerve to say that. Do you think Sister Lu will spend her whole life with you? You have no self-awareness. Sister Lu despises you. Do you really not know, or are you just pretending?" "Of course I know. I realized it long ago. Lu Ruyon and I first met when we were children. At that time, I wondered how there could be such a beautiful older sister in the world. I wanted to get close to her, but her cold and distant aura kept strangers at bay. I didn't dare approach. For that, we didn't see each other again until after the middle school entrance exams. Mr. Lu invited me to the Lu family home. That's when I also found out she was my future wife. On the cusp of first love, I fell for her then and there. I also understood that she didn't like me, she even hated me. Seeing my silence, Fang Yuan came much more relaxed. A victorious smile appeared on his face. Sister Lu is very cruel to people she dislikes. For your own good, I advise you to divorce her. Otherwise, you're in for a world of suffering. Although he wants me to divorce Lu Ran, I have to admit he's not wrong about that. I suppressed the urge to nod and said scornfully, "Don't think so highly of yourself. You've been abroad for 5 years. People change." Now in the hospital room, you should have felt her coldness towards you. Feeling panicked, aren't you? As soon as I said that, Fang Yuan's face instantly turned pale. How could he not be panicked? Liu Ruyan had never treated him so coldly before. This and said mockingly, "There's no corner that can't be pried loose. I put a lot of effort into her these past 5 years. Where do you get the confidence that she can't live without you and will always despise me?" Fang Yuan opened his mouth to retort. It was speechless. Seeing his discomfort, my goal was achieved. I turned to leave. Sister Lu has loved me for years. She will love me for a lifetime. I stopped, tilting my head, and said, "Then I'd like to see how long this confidence of yours lasts. Will definitely make Sister Lu divorce you." Fang Yuan clenched his fists, his face pale. I let out a cold laugh and walked away without looking back. Arriving at the door to Liu Rian's room, I didn't rush inside. In my past life, with Liu Ru's tacit approval, Yuan had me committed to a mental institution. In despair, I jumped from a building. These two are the culprits who killed me. They are my enemies. Having been reborn, I naturally want revenge. But how should I get revenge? Obviously, killing them is the most direct way. I don't want to ruin my life again because of these two people. God gave me a chance to start over, not for me to make such a life choice. Then I could make the Lu family go bankrupt and leave Liu Ruyan with a broken family, an eye for an eye. Also commit Feng Yuan to a mental institution, not to mention whether I have the ability to do so. Even if I did, I'm afraid this entire life would be lived solely for revenge. Besides these two methods of revenge, there is another way. It is to destroy the relationship between Feng Yuan and Liu Ran. But as soon as I thought about this process of revenge, I felt suffocated. Facing the two people I hate to the bone every day to put on an act is truly a form of torture. After thinking it over and over, it's clear that burying the hatred in my heart, cherishing the chance God has given me, and starting a completely new life, to live a peaceful life, is more beneficial. I once again convinced myself and emotionlessly pushed open the door to the hospital room. Liu Yan was asleep. I went into the restroom to wash my face, then came out and lay down on the family bed, preparing to get some sleep. I didn't sleep well during the day. This time, I slept especially deeply. By the time I woke up, it was already dark outside. Picked up my phone to check. My mouth fell open in surprise. "It's 5 a.m. Did you sleep well?" A woman's soft, sweet voice sounded by my ear. I looked up at her. Fortunately, Luran didn't say anything more. The room returned to silence. "Are you hungry?" "I am hungry." 2 sentences were spoken almost simultaneously after speaking. Luan and I fell silent again. A flash of annoyance appeared on my face. I threw off the covers and got out of bed. "I'll go get you some food, but you can only eat porridge right now. Be picky when I bring it back. I have to make this clear first. Otherwise, if I bring back porridge and Liu Yan refuses to eat it and gives me an attitude, it's really not worth it." Liu Yan nodded faintly. "I know." I put on my shoes and walked to the door. I opened the door and stepped out and saw Zuya standing close to the window. A smile appeared on my face. "Assistant Ju." Jua was stunned. Then she nodded a bit awkwardly. "Hello, sir." I suddenly remembered Juya hadn't had much contact with me at this point. Smile on my face gradually faded. A deep sense of regret filled my heart. Juya is Lu Ruyan's assistant. In my past life, after I married Lu Ruyan, I gradually got to know her well. Juya felt sorry for me and took great care of me. I was grateful to her. I wanted to thank her, but in this life, I'm afraid I won't have the chance to become friends with Zuya again. Burying this gratitude deep in my heart, I crossed my arms and pointed into the room. "She's hungry." Juya nodded. "Hell, go get the porridge right away." "Okay." After Juya left, I opened my phone and saw a message from Bingji. "How is Liu Ruyan now?" "Brother Fang, are you okay? Bingji has been my good friend for many years since I was reborn. I've been holding back from contacting him, fearing that if I did, I wouldn't be able to control my emotions. A person on the verge of collapse, once faced with someone they can confide in, will shed the heavy armor they wear and instantly become vulnerable. For example, right now, my nose started to sting. I took a deep breath. My fingers rested on the keyboard. Loan is fine. I'm also doing great right now. You don't need to worry. I'll go to school tomorrow. We can talk then. You're going to school? Have you thought things through? I could see Bingji's excitement even from the punctuation. Smiled and didn't reply again. I am a medical student at H University. In my past life, if I hadn't married Lu Yan and been forced to drop out by Suru, I would have eventually become a doctor. My life might not have been extraordinary, but it would certainly have been a meaningful one. I put my phone back in my pocket, leaned against the wall in a daysaze. When Juya returned, she saw me lost in thought. She really didn't want to disturb me, but she was afraid Lu Ran was hungry and waiting impatiently. She approached anyway. "Sir, I've brought the porridge." I snapped out of it, took the insulated container from her hand. I asked with a faint smile, "Is it from home?" "Madam cooked it herself. It's been kept at the nurse's station. She instructed me to bring it up when the young lady woke." Zuya spoke cautiously. She was truly treating me as Lu Rian's husband. In my past life at the Lu household, the person who truly respected me and treated me like a human being was only Jua. I carried the insulated container and didn't rush into the room. Instead, I looked at Jua and asked with concern, "What time did you get here?" "A little after 7 p.m. yesterday. I came after handling the car accident matters." "In that case, I am enough to handle things here. You should go get some sleep." Faced with my enthusiasm and concern, Juya frowned, feeling a bit unaccustomed to it, but she still said respectfully, "Thank you for your kindness, sir, but the old madam told me to stay here. I can't sleep just yet." I noticed her expression and realized my actions were making Zuya feel pressured. I had no choice but to nod. "All right, I'll go in first then." With that, I turned and entered the room. The soundproofing of the door wasn't very good. Liru Yan, who was in the room, could hear the conversation at the door just now. As I entered, Lu Ru Yan looked at me with a peculiar expression. I didn't notice. I walked over and placed the thermal lunchbox on the bedside table, opened it, and poured the porridge into a bowl, then sat down on the chair, preparing to feed Liu Ran, but when the spoon reached Liu Yan's mouth, she didn't open it. I looked at her doubtfully. "Are you not going to eat? Did you know Shu Ya before?" Liu Ru's eyes flickered. I pursed my lips, then said, "We know each other." Straight. Liu Yan's sharp eyes narrowed slightly. Her expression looked like a storm was brewing. I was all too familiar with this expression of hers. I put the spoon back in the bowl and asked casually, "Is there something about her that you don't like?" I really don't want to serve her anymore. Durian's lips twitched. Then she clamped her mouth shut. She realized that if she said what she wanted to say, I would probably put down the bowl and leave immediately. The kind of leaving without looking back before she could clarify the matter of the past life. She didn't want me to escape her control. "Are you going to eat or not?" Seeing that Luan remained silent, I became a little impatient. When has anyone ever spoken to Liu Yan with this tone? Her face turned livid, but she still took a deep breath. She was really hungry. Finishing one bowl was just enough to tide her over. Seeing that she still wanted to eat, I put the bowl down and said indifferently, "You can't eat too much right now. Liwan is not a child. Since I've said so, even if she wasn't full, she could only endure it." I packed up the thermal lunchbox, took it out of the hospital room, and gave it to Ju Ya. After returning, I saw it was almost 6. I walked to the front of the hospital bed and tucked Lu Yan in. Then I said, with a straight face, "I have to go to school." Lu Ru Yan raised an eyebrow. "So, let the nurse take care of you during the day. Come over after school." I nodded. I promised Churu I would take care of Liu Yan until she was discharged. I will definitely keep my word. I won't run off halfway. Go on. Lu Yan closed her eyes before going to school. I had to change my clothes before the marriage, happily moving all my things to the new house. So, no matter how much I didn't want to return to that heartbreaking place now, I still had to steel myself and go back. I took a taxi to the front of the house. Went inside and saw Fang Yuan and raised my eyebrows in surprise. "Mom, you've been here all this time without going home. I knew you'd come here after leaving the hospital. I want to talk to you." It was still early. I wasn't in a hurry to get to school. I didn't hesitate to go over and sit down. Jiang Yuan asked with a grim expression, "Is it true you want to divorce Luan?" "It's true. Are you crazy?" Yuan slammed her cup on the coffee table, her face covered with a layer of anger. "Do you have any idea? Marrying Luan is a blessing you must have cultivated for many lifetimes to receive," I said with a bitter smile. "If I didn't love Luan, perhaps that would be my true blessing." Zhang Yuan was stunned. "I finally understand your words now. You always told me not to love Lu Ru Yan. In your eyes, as long as I didn't love Lu Ru Yan, marrying her would make me happy for the rest of my life." I took Jiang Yuan's hand. "Your ultimate goal was just to want me to have food and clothing for the rest of my life, and be happy and joyful forever. Mom, am I wrong?" Jiang Yuan's expression stiffened. "You're overthinking it." As soon as she finished, her face was full of discomfort. She pulled her hand out of mine. I wasn't unhappy at all. A hint of a smile flashed in my eyes. I pretended to be serious and said, "Fine then. Even if Lu Yan doesn't give me money later and contacts Fang Yuan every day to humiliate me. Even if Fang Yuan, wanting me and Lu Yan to divorce, sets me up so everyone thinks I'm mentally ill and has me committed to a mental hospital, I will endure it all. They dare. Fang Yuan's eyes widened. Her whole body was about to explode. Although our Line family has declined, a starved camel is still bigger than a horse. Besides, our Lin and Lu families have been friends for generations. How dare she treat you like that? Let out a cold laugh. But she loves Fang Yuan. A woman for the man she loves can sometimes disregard everything. Love schmoove. A woman's love is the most useless thing in this world. Zhang Yuan sighed softly and asked hesitantly, "These things you mentioned really happen?" I nodded. Lu Yan has always hated me. Now she was forced to marry me according to Grandpa Leo's last wish. It's even reached the point of loathing me. Well, if that's the case, Zhang Yuan thought for a moment, then continued. If you're determined to divorce Liu Ran, I won't stop you. But you must think carefully. Even if you marry again, you won't be able to marry someone with conditions as good as Liu Ruan's. Marrying a woman with good conditions doesn't guarantee happiness. Besides, even if I don't get married in this life, I will make myself happy, I said with a bright smile. What nonsense! If you don't get married, then your father and I never mind. Forget it. Zhang Yuan was extremely proud but soft-hearted inside. This was something I only realized after being reborn. The hardship she faced in her youth made her full of thorns, unwilling to soften in the slightest, afraid that once she softened, hardship would take the opportunity to creep in again and stab her painfully once more. It hurt so much she wouldn't want to live. When Lin Batian married her, I was only 1 year old, no matter how many nannies were hired to take care of me. None of them could replace a mother's position. It's a child's nature to look for their mother. They can't find her, they'll cry. But I heard from the maid, who had worked at our house for many years, that I rarely cried as a child. At that moment, I realized something. After asking more, I found out Zhang Yuan, before I had memories, home playing with me almost every day. Most of the time, it was Zhang Yuan who took care of me. Anyone could see Zhang Yuan's affection for me, but for some unknown reason, from a certain day, Zhang Yuan intentionally stopped being close to me. I don't know what happened that made her make such a decision. No one could know. Later, when I was 4 years old, Zhang Yuan gave birth to a child for Limbatan named Li Nu. Zhang Yuan wasn't close to this child either. I once thought she was naturally cold-hearted. Then later, I thought she only cared about money and power. But thinking about it now, if she only cared about money and power, then how could she? When the Lin family's investment failed and they almost went bankrupt, will not leave without even a word of complaint. Although I still don't understand now why Zhang Yuan acted that way. But I know that in Zhang Yuan's heart, she has this family, and having me and Lin is enough. Lin is more perceptive than I am. I chuckled. Laughter was clear and bright. She said, "Marry Luan wouldn't make me happy." Zhang Yuan was surprised. "When did she say that to you?" 2 days before my wedding. What does a kid like her know? Zhang Yuan sneered softly. So young but likes to meddle in adult affairs. She really needs to be taught a lesson. I smiled faintly, seeing it was getting late. I stood up from the sofa and gently squeezed Zhang Yuan's always stiff left shoulder. "Another day, I'll take you somewhere for treatment. It's quite good for frozen shoulder. I'm going upstairs to wash up and then go to school." "To school?" Yuan's expression changed slightly. "You're not dropping out of school anymore?" I smiled and shook my head. If it weren't for wanting to divorce Luan, I wouldn't have dropped out. Yuan's expression turned cold, vaguely understanding something. "What do you mean by that?" "I dropped out because Shu demanded it." I recalled Shu's threat at that time, and my expression turned sour as well. The moment Zhang Yuan heard these words, her face flushed red with anger. She pointed a finger at my nose and scolded. "You spineless fool, why didn't you tell me about this? I thought you couldn't keep up with your studies, and that's why you dropped out. If you had told me sooner, I would have definitely gone to the Lu family to demand an explanation. What right does that Exuru have to make such a demand?" As she finished speaking, she grabbed the coffee cup on the table and threw it at the TV. Zach's TV couldn't withstand the impact, and a spiderweb of cracks spread out from one point. The coffee cup also couldn't escape its fate. Auntie Chen, who had just come out of the kitchen, saw this scene and immediately froze in fear. Not daring to move, Zhang Yuan glanced at her, sneered repeatedly. "No one in the Lu family is any good. It's good that you're divorcing Lu Ruyan with your weak personality. If you continue living with her, you won't have a single day of peace." Auntie Chen was a nanny who had worked for the Lu family for many years. Shuru sent her here. Her words sounded nice, saying that she was good at taking care of people and could take good care of Liu Ruyan in my daily life. But actually, it was to have her come and supervise the words, Zhang Yuan was saying. Now, Auntie Chen would definitely repeat them word for word to Suru when she got back. Zhang Yuan knew this perfectly well. She was saying it on purpose. It was my fault. Clasped my hands in front of me and lowered my head, just like when I came home after making a mistake as a child. At first, I didn't tell Zhang Yuan about this because I was afraid she would go and cause trouble with Shu. At that time, Shu would look down on me even more. In my previous life, I didn't understand having your mother's family support versus not having it makes life with your in-laws completely different. Yun had a sharp tongue. Plus, she grew up in a complex and rough area. Dealing with someone like Suru, who from a young age grew up with strict rules, was truly too easy. If I had her support in my previous life, my life at the Liu family's house wouldn't have been so miserable. I remember you used to be quite a troublemaker, not the type to be easily bullied. Why have you become so timid now? Yang Yuan looked at my pitiful appearance. Her tone gradually softened. I told you before not to love Liu Ruyan to ensure you live comfortably your whole life. At that time, you were unhappy with me as if I said it to harm you. You think love is useless, so you don't love Dad. I looked up at her. Xiaowang, you are still young. Zhang Yuan sighed softly. For two people to live together, that they can stay together forever, doesn't just depend on love. In fact, you could say it doesn't depend on love at all. Wait until you truly marry someone and live with them. You will understand. Before I was reborn, though I had gone through many hardships and suffered a lot of pain and love, but because Liu Ruyan and I never truly lived together properly, I still didn't understand the thing called marriage. I understand your difficulties now, Mom. My bright eyes twinkled, looking very mischievous. I will definitely listen to you more in the future. Faced with my sudden intimacy, Zhang Yuan felt uncomfortable. She pouted. Her words belied her true feelings. Come on, I'm not your biological mother anyway. You can listen to my words if you want or not if you don't. The smile in my eyes deepened. You're not my biological mother, but you still care about me so much. Who cares about you? Fang Yuan impatiently waved her hand. Hurry up and go. Do your own thing. I smiled, my eyes sparkling slightly. All right. I'll go upstairs then, because it was getting late. I went upstairs and took a quick shower, got dressed, grabbed the school withdrawal form, and went out. The family only has one driver, and he was injured in the accident with Lu Ran. I had to walk out of the villa complex to the main road to catch a taxi. It's really not easy to get a cab here. I waited a long time before finally getting one. Getting in the car, I gave my destination, then took out my phone to text by Mingji, arranging to meet at the school gate. Young man, are you a student at H University? The driver looked at me in the rearview mirror and asked with a bright smile. I nodded. I am a sophomore this year. What's your major? Medicine. Medicine is good. I think you'll be a doctor saving lives in the future. What a great profession. The driver was very talkative and pleasant to talk to. I put my phone down and felt like chatting with him for a bit. This conversation turned out to be fruitful. The driver said that last night around midnight he drove a very handsome man here. At first, he thought the man lived here, but he ended up driving him to the gate of a villa. The man said he had to go back to the city and asked the driver to wait at the gate for a moment. Then he got out of the car and rang the doorbell. Not long after, a very charismatic man came out from inside, and, upon seeing the other man, he started cursing loudly, calling him a shameless schemer who specializes in liking other people's wives. Then the other man said something. The voice was too low. The driver couldn't hear clearly, but it looked like he was refuting. But before he could get a few words out, the man from inside turned around and left. After hearing this, I had a guess in my heart. So, I asked the driver what that man looked like and what colour clothes he was wearing. The driver described him from memory. I confirmed that this man was Fang Yuan. He left the hospital and came here in the middle of the night. For what? I couldn't figure it out. I could be sure that Fang Yuan definitely came here with ulterior motives. This man is full of bad intentions. I learned that lesson deeply in my previous life. I looked out the car window. A mocking glint flashed in my eyes. Although I can't do anything to Liu Ruyan, I can do my best to make Fang Yuan suffer a little. That's still possible. The taxi arrived at the gate of H University. I paid the fare and got out and saw Bing Jie squatting at the school gate at a glance. He was wearing a tracksuit. His hair was a bit messy, looking like he had just finished exercising. Upon seeing me, he immediately stood up and ran over like a madman. Brother Fang, I stood still with my arms crossed in front of my chest in a defensive posture, but I still couldn't avoid being engulfed in a hug by Bing Jie. The Fang, we haven't seen each other in 15 days. Do you know how much I missed you? I thought you wouldn't need me anymore after getting married. My face was covered by his hair. I struggled to raise my hand to push the hair off my face and said with difficulty, Mingji, you're about to squeeze me to death. I don't care. He rubbed his face against me with a pitiful expression. This is your punishment for not seeing me for half a month and not letting me attend your wedding. My hand, which was about to push him away, rose in mid-air to marry Lu Yan. Saru had made many demands. Forcing me to drop out was just one of them. Another was that I had to give up my current social circle. In Saru's eyes, all my friends were good-for-nothings, unworthy of the status of Lu Yan's husband. That time, I was so besotted with Luan that I actually agreed. I was so heartless as to actually abandon my friends, including Bingji, my friend of many years. I still remember Bingji's disappointed look whenever he saw me in my previous life. So, to say, I was lonely and helpless back then and suffered all kinds of hardships was something I brought upon myself. The wedding wasn't worth attending anyway. I was filled with guilt. Even though I was about to be suffocated by Bing Jie, I didn't push him away anymore. Anyway, about to divorce Liu Ruyan. Bing Ji let go of me, his face full of astonishment. I blinked. You didn't miss here. Once Liu Ruyan recovers and is discharged from the hospital, I will immediately divorce her. You aren't you? Bai Mingjia frowned, scratching his head. Marrying Liu Ruan what you've always dreamed of. I shrugged. It was before, but after marrying her, I found out she's just so-so. She's no good. I had a mischievous idea, pursed my lips, and pretended to have a troubled expression without saying anything. Then you really have to divorce, Baingji said with a regretful look. I can't believe Luan is. Sigh. As expected, God is fair, I nodded in agreement. That's right, just relying on Bingji's big mouth. I'm afraid the matter of Lu Ran not being good will spread everywhere in less than a day. This can be considered a small revenge against Liu Ran. I happily put my arm around his shoulder. Let's go. Come with me to the homeroom teacher's office to return the withdrawal form. The next task is to study hard and finish university and live a normal and quiet life for the remaining 3 years. Brother Fang, why did you drop out in the first place? It was Shu's demand. Otherwise, couldn't have married Liu Ran, I said sarcastically, looked up at my cold expression and said perceptively, I knew it was that old hag. Otherwise, why would you drop out for no reason? I really wonder. For a guy with great qualities like you, is she still not satisfied with? Me with great qualities, I pointed to a boy drawing a wall newspaper not far away. The young master of the EA family, Yahui. This is the one with good qualities in Xu's eyes. So, a good family background is what's called good qualities. Huh? How superficial. I let out a faint laugh and said no more. Isn't that the case? No matter how outstanding you are personally, if your family background isn't good in front of the Liu family, you are an extremely inferior existence. In that case, in the previous life, even if Fang Yuan successfully married into the Liu family, even with Liu Ruyan's favour, with his background and status, life wouldn't necessarily have been easy. The feeling of being looked down upon and despised by others every day is quite hard to bear. Thinking like this, felt much more refreshed inside. Arriving at the homeroom teacher's office, I was just about to raise my hand to knock when the office door opened from the inside. The man inside saw me. His expression changed suddenly. Why are you here? Did you already drop out? Couldn't help but laugh. The man standing in front of me was none other than Fang Yuan's younger brother, Fang Jiang. Speaking of this, Fang Jiang, he really is Fang Yuan's good younger brother, coveting his own brother's woman, and would trip up his own brother. How touching. Because I dropped out doesn't mean I can come back, right? Baingji bared his teeth at Fang Jiang. Now that Lin Fang is back, you can't be in the spotlight anymore. Do you feel very upset? Fang Jiang looked at him with gloomy eyes. I'm not talking to a loudmouth like you, following me and talking. Aren't you demeaning yourself? I don't know if I'm demeaning myself or not. Anyway, you're not even a fraction of my Xiaowang. Getting mad and playing tricks behind people's backs is what's truly demeaning. When did I play tricks behind your back? Bai Mingjia sneered. You know it yourself. Last month's anatomy class, my Xiaowang's rabbit was harmed by someone. It was definitely you. A flicker of panic flashed in Fang Jiang's eyes. Don't stand here slandering people. You would never do something like that. You need evidence when you make accusations. It was you, wasn't it? I interrupted their argument and spoke with a smile. I don't want to listen to a meaningless argument here. Fang Jiang, you're blocking my way. Could you please move? He glared at me with no intention of moving aside. I know Fang all too well. Ever since I entered H University, just because I was Lu Ruyan's fiancé. Fang Jiang was determined to pick a fight with me. If a day went by without him coming to cause trouble, he would feel uneasy. Like right now, for example, Fang Jiang definitely wants to provoke me with his words. The type who just can't resist provoking someone. Sure enough, it wasn't long before Feng Zhong began. Lin Fang, you should drop out of school and just stay home every day to please Sister Lu. Maybe then you'd have a chance to win her heart. But you gave up on dropping out, and now my brother is back from abroad. I'm afraid you can soon. Prepare to divorce, Sister Lu. Zhang knew how to strike a nerve. If this were my past life, I probably would have been upset. But now, not at all. Therefore, not only did Fang Yuan not see an ugly expression on my face, but he saw me bare my pearly white teeth and smile coldly. Saying that make you feel better. 10. What? My unexpected reaction made Fang Jiang's brain freeze. You're secretly in love with Lu Ruyan when you said that I stay home every day, solely to please Lu Ruyan. Didn't your heart bleed? I reached out and pinched Fang Jiang's chin, shaking it back and forth. I clicked my tongue and continued. Your looks aren't that worse than your brother's. Don't you feel the least bit unwilling to accept this? Your brother can make Luyan divorce me. Why can't you? Shang's expression changed drastically. He slapped my hand away and roared furiously. Lin Fang, stop talking nonsense. I'm not secretly in love with Sister Lu. Look at you. You like a woman, but don't even dare to admit it. It seems that for the rest of your life, you can only watch your brother and the woman you love be all love-idvi. My words weren't just terrible. I was completely disrespecting Fang Jiang, stabbing a knife right into his weakest spot. I wanted to make Fang Jiang wish he were dead, to make his delusional obsession emerge earlier than in the last life. Before I divorce Liu Ruyan, I must personally cause as much trouble for Fang Yuan as possible. Shut up. Fang Jiang's eyes were bloodshot. His breathing became heavy. It's just nonsense. I shrugged. My expression was like, whether it's nonsense or not, you know it yourself. Fang Jiang seemed on the verge of a breakdown. He gave me a hateful glance and quickly left. Xiaowong, does Feng Jiang like Liu Yan? Bingji grabbed my arm tightly. His entire face screamed curiosity. I know he loves to gossip, but now was clearly not the time to share gossip with him. I gestured for him to calm down and be patient. Then I went into the head tier's office when I was dropping out. The tier never agreed. Finally, when he saw I was truly determined, he had to agree. Now that he saw I regretted it, he was naturally very happy. After all, losing such an excellent medical student was a great pity. After the hetir gave me a few words of advice, he let me and Bingji leave. Once we were a little distance from the office, Bingji looked up at me with sparkling eyes. Xiao Fanging, quick, hurry up. I can't take it anymore. Tell me. Don't you already know? Fang Jiang is secretly in love with Liu Ruyan. I smirked. Smile was full of ridicule. He's like Liu Ruyan since he was a child. But unfortunately, Liu Ruyan only has eyes for Fang Yuan until I said those words just now. He still thought that as long as his brother was worthy of Liu Ruyan, what he needed to do was silently protect them from the sidelines. How do you know so clearly? Bingjia was astonished. I smiled without saying anything. Bingjia didn't ask any further. After digesting this piece of gossip, his not-so-sharp mind asked, "Do you know that before you said those words?" Fang thought that way. So what about after? He won't be content. Hell, start thinking about competing with Fang Yuan. I'm stirring up the desire buried deep in his heart. I took the locker key from my pocket, slipped my finger through the key ring, and twirled it with a gleeful expression. Bai Mingji understood. He had a sly grin. Xiaowong, you're still as wicked as ever. I raised an eyebrow at him. Just now I saw the lean thing from high school. Da Mingji nudged my shoulder and chuckled. You were so arrogant back then, spirited and proud. It's a shame you pretended to be a good boy in university. It wasn't fun at all. The smile on my face faded. Lin Botian's mother, meaning my paternal grandmother, was from the north. Gand, Linian often followed his mother to the north. Every time he would stay for a few months, so Linian has a very liberal personality. Plus, he's not very smart. For all these years, he has lived a very happy and carefree life. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made a failed investment, causing the Line family's years of effort to go down the drain. My personality is somewhat like his. Furthermore, Limbo and Yung Yuan had very low expectations for me. This led to me letting myself go after entering high school. To put it seriously, at that time, I was a student with good grades, but in the teacher's eyes, I was a problem student. As for the reason why, after entering university, I forced myself to become a good boy. Of course, it was also because of Liu Yan and Shuru. Snapped out of my memories and muttered in a calm tone. If it weren't for her, my previous life would have been so brilliant. Xiaowing, what did you say? Bai Mingjia didn't hear clearly, he asked curiously. I shook my head. From now on, I will live as myself. Took Bai Mingjia's hand. The two of us walked lightly to the classroom. I am smart. I've learned everything quickly since I was a child. Back then, my university entrance exam score was very high. When choosing my major, Fang Yuan and Limbo Tian's opinion was to let me do as I pleased. Among the many majors I could choose, I chose to study medicine without hesitation. Studying medicine is very hard. Limboyan once expressed his disapproval. He just said I liked it and insisted on my choice without telling them the real reason. The real reason was my biological mother's death. It wasn't to be able to save more people or to prevent more families from being broken. It was to accumulate blessings for my mother. Her life was too short. I hope in her next life she can live a peaceful and smooth life. The morning classes ended. There were no classes in the afternoon. Bingji hadn't hung out with me in a long time. He asked me to go shopping with him. To go to the hospital to take care of Luruan. After telling him the truth, we agreed to hang out another day. Then I left school and went to the hospital. Arriving at the hospital, I went upstairs. I ran into Shiru, who was just coming out of the hospital room. Shiru saw me. She was stunned for a moment. Then she spoke with a complicated expression. "You've got some skills." I was confused. "What?" "Before you married Ruian, she quite disliked you. I didn't expect that in just one night. She doesn't dislike you anymore. Is it right to say you have skills?" Shu's words were full of hidden meaning. I frowned and said nothing. Previously, in front of Shu, I always acted very obedient. No matter how much she made things difficult for me or said harsh words, I would always nod and bow. Though my attitude has become much stronger after being reborn, Shu still wasn't used to it. Seeing me say nothing, she thought I didn't dare to talk back. She pushed her luck and said, "As expected, a son raised by a vixen is also a little bastard." Shiru was pushing her luck. I didn't intend to indulge her anymore. "Shiru, if you're sick, go see a doctor." I didn't even call her mother anymore. My expression was as cold as ice. "You are a member of the Luo family after all, but you talk like a street ruffian. Aren't you afraid of lowering the Luo family status?" These words were indeed very harsh. Shiru didn't expect me to show her no respect at all and say such harsh things to her. For a moment, she was stunned. By the time she reacted, her whole face was red with anger. "Linfang, how you talk to me? You and Rian are about to get divorced. You don't have to call me mother, but you shouldn't call me by my name. I am your elder. I think you're the one with no upbringing. You're a disgrace to the Lin family's ancestors." Shuru relied on her powerful family background and married into the Lu family. Although her personality was arrogant and domineering, she was like a porcupine, pricking everyone she met, but very few people dared to confront her directly. So, the harsh words she could say in an argument only went this far. I heard her even bring my ancestors into it. I really couldn't help but laugh. "Fine. Calling you by your name was indeed my mistake. Then, can I call you Auntie Sue? Auntie Sue, you're really broad-minded. Your daughter is lying in there. It's still unknown if her head will have any after effects. You're not worried about her. Instead, you're wasting time here saying things to provoke me if you're really that free. You might as well go play a couple of rounds of mahjong." "Linfang, you are too insolent." I rolled my eyes. I couldn't be bothered with her anymore. I leaned over and opened the hospital room door and shouted inside, "Li Ruyan, your mother is being too unreasonable. I don't want to argue with your mother. Let the nurse take care of you. You could kill Shiru." And she still wouldn't have expected me to do this. She was about to go mad with anger. She raised her hand and pushed my shoulder hard. "You're even tattling to my daughter. Who do you think you are?" "Rion, this thing. He doesn't respect me, his elder, at all. He called me a street ruffian, lowering the Lu family status. I can't wait another day. I'll call the people from the Civil Affairs Bureau here right now. The two of you will divorce immediately." "Excellent." Clapped my hands and cheered. "I thank you. It's great to have such a powerful mother-in-law. I don't even have to go to the Civil Affairs Bureau myself for a divorce. How convenient. Hurry up. One is a lovesick fool. The other is menopausal. Can't stand this mother-daughter duo for another day." In the hospital bed, veins popped on Liu Ruan's forehead. Her entire body exuded a fierce aura. Countless men wanted to marry her. Any man who could marry her would wake up laughing from their dreams. But the thing that countless people couldn't reach was being disdained by me like this. This was a huge blow to her self-esteem. How could she not be furious inside? "It's best if you obediently get a divorce," Shiru pointed at my nose. Her eyes were filled with anger. She said with a forced smile, "Wait until I call the people from the Civil Affairs Bureau. If you regret it and refuse to let go, I won't just make you. You'll make sure your entire line family comes to a bad end." I also forced a smile. "Whoever regrets it is a dog." "Fine." As soon as the words left her mouth, Shu opened her handbag, intending to take out her phone to make a call. "I've said that only Grandpa can decide on my marriage." Lu Ruyan looked towards the hospital room door. Her gaze was gloomy. Whether I divorce him or not is my decision to make. Mother, don't do unnecessary things. Ruan, if you don't take this opportunity to divorce him quickly, when are you going to wait until Shiru didn't understand? Her eyes were bloodshot with anger, but a flash of impatience appeared on Lu Ruyan's face. I told you not to meddle, but I insist on meddling. I don't want this kind of worthless son-in-law. Besides, haven't you always liked that, Fang Yuan? He's back in the country now. Aren't you looking forward to divorcing Lin Fang quickly so you can marry him? You divorce Lin Feng today, and tomorrow you can go register your marriage with Fang Yuan, Lu Ruyan said expressionlessly. No, Shiru blurted out almost instinctively. Daughter must marry a man with a powerful family background and who is excellent himself. What are this Lin Fang and Fang Yuan? They can't help Ruyan's career at all. That's one thing, they might even drag her down. Liu Ran let out a cold laugh. So, her mother had always thought this way. No wonder she did that back then. Anyway, I won't let you marry Fang Yuan. So, why are you in a hurry to divorce Lin Fang? Liu Ruyan turned her head and faced the ceiling. Let Lin Fang come in. Ruan, listen to me. Don't waste your breath. Lu Ruyan cut Shiru off. Her tone was unbelievably cold. Shiru gave me an unwilling glance, then turned and left. I stared at her angry back with a thoughtful expression. In my previous life, I only had eyes and heart for Luan. Sure, I never noticed this point. A woman with a personality like Shu had never been firm with her daughter. She practically did whatever her daughter said. Could it be because she loves her daughter too much? But she is Lurian's mother after all. If she were to make a scene, Lurian should eventually have to compromise reluctantly. How strange. My inner thoughts were heard clearly by Luan. In her heart and eyes, there were only my inner thoughts. This made Luan's mood extremely complicated. She coughed lightly, intending to attract my attention. I came back to my senses. I tilted my head to look at her. Come in. I walked in and stopped in front of the hospital bed. I sat down on the chair. Why not take this opportunity to divorce me? Not only did Shiru not understand, I didn't understand either. There's no why. You and Fang Yuan are deeply in love. You want to marry him. Your mother's opposition is useless. So, I don't understand. In my previous life, if I hadn't clung on shamelessly, I'm afraid on the day Fang Yuan returned, Victon, Lu Ruyan would have dragged me to the Civil Affairs Bureau for a divorce. How could our grievances have dragged on for 3 years? We divorced right after getting married. It will affect the reputation of the Lu Group. We can't get divorced in the short term. Before I was reborn, this woman dreamed of divorcing me, but couldn't get a divorce. After being reborn, the one who dreams of divorcing but can't has become me. Life is truly full of drama. I can't drag this on any longer. Get divorced after Liu Ruan is discharged from the hospital. So, it really is rebirth. Such a fantastical thing really exists in this world. You've probably forgotten. At our wedding, there were only our family members. Even the media knew we were married because you deliberately concealed our marriage. Outsiders still think you're single. So our divorce will not affect the reputation of the Lu Group. There's no wall in this world that doesn't have a crack. So, I want some time. Well, how long until we can get divorced? At least half a year. Half a year is not acceptable. I can't wait that long. How long do you want? We divorce after you get out of the hospital. 1 year. Why are you raising the price? Let me tell you the truth. I already have someone I like. That's why I'm in a hurry to divorce you, so I can be with that person. I don't believe you. Do I need to lie to you? If you can accept me during our marriage, seeing another woman, and cheating on you, then I'll listen to you. Well, divorce in half a year, I can. What the hell can you? The ungrateful wretch now believes in Buddha and has started eating vegetarian, saving all living beings. Are you fine? You can accept this too. I have nothing more to say. If you say half a year, then half a year it is. I have to tell you a few things first. I will move back home. During this time, we will live our own lives. Don't meet unless it's necessary. No problem, it's time for lunch. 10 minutes later, I walked in carrying a thermal lunchbox. Down on the chair expressionlessly, and opened the thermal lunchbox. I brought a spoonful of porridge to Luian's mouth. I don't know if it was intentional. My hand trembled. A lot of the porridge on the spoon spilled onto Li Ran's neck. 2 words Lin Fang seemed to come directly from the depths of her heart, suppressing immense anger. I stood up in a panic. I pulled from the tissue box on the bedside table a few tissues to wipe her neck. I apologized while wiping. Sorry, I didn't do it on purpose. Don't be angry. I'll let you mess with me now that you can't move. Can't I torture you however I want? Lu Ran heard my inner thoughts, felt the sticky liquid, and the tissue gradually approaching her face. Her face became as black as the bottom of a pot. It's not on my face. It's not. Sorry, I thought it was. Lin Fang, do you think you've lived too long? I know Miss Lu is powerful and influential. Anyone who offends you doesn't have a good end. But you can't just because I didn't. Carefully spill porridge on you. Decide to deal with me? But Lu Ran sneered. I can. Then wait until you can move for now. Just endure it. I also sneered. Long glared at me. The depths of her eyes were blood red. Wipe my whole body clean and change into clean clothes. I can't do that. Hot-blooded young man like me isn't very suitable. Let me get someone else to do it for you. Liu Ruyan was truly provoked. The person who was always expressionless rarely showed anger on her face. No, you do it today. You won't for me. Bam. Before Liu Yan could finish speaking, I had quickly stepped out of the hospital room. Liu Yan squeezed her eyes shut. She felt every blood vessel in her body contracting violently with anger, as if they could burst at any moment. Previously in front of her, just like in front of Shiru, I always acted very obedient. I looked completely non-aggressive, but now it seems he must have been pretending on purpose. This is not an easy person to deal with. It's unknown how much time passed. As Liu Ran was enduring the discomfort all over her body. When the stickiness was about to reach its limit, the door to the hospital room opened. Hurry up, Luan's impatient voice urged. Miss, don't be in such a hurry. I'll go get a wet towel first. A hoarse voice came from the door of the hospital room, which stunned Liu Ran. She stiffly unturned her neck to look. A woman who looked over 50 years old was walking towards the bathroom. I don't know where I found her. A woman with messy hair wearing an old-fashioned worker's uniform that was covered in stains. Having a woman like that wipe her body, she would rather be stabbed. Get out, miss. Mr. Lin told me about your situation. I really sympathize. Don't worry, I won't laugh at you. Do you know who I am? Who are you? Li Ruyan. Who? Lin Fang. You bastard. Liu Ran took a deep breath and then closed her eyes. Seeing this, the woman walked over. The process of being wiped down was extremely torturous for Liu Ran. She gritted her teeth and endured it. After the woman put a clean hospital gown on her and left. She opened her eyes and looked towards the door. I stood leaning against the doorframe with my arms crossed. The moment our eyes met, I pretended to yawn. The person I found wasn't bad, right? Not bad. After I'm discharged from the hospital, it'll have to trouble you to take thoughtful care of me. Surprisingly, Luan wasn't angry at all, but on the contrary was very calm. It was just that, when she said the word thoughtful, it seemed to be ground out from between her teeth. Otherwise, I would have thought she wasn't angry at all. I narrowed my eyes with a somewhat guarded expression. This has a wicked heart. I don't know what she's thinking in her heart. She's waiting until she can move to take revenge on me, but I've already offended her. There's no escaping revenge. So, while she's sick, I might as well take her life. Luan suddenly felt that her current situation was like walking into a tiger's den. She tried to move her arm. The pain was heart-wrenching, making her gasp. Don't expect to be able to move. Realizing this clearly, Liu Ruyan licked her slightly dry lips and suddenly asked, Lin Fang, do you still love me? I scoffed. What do you mean still love you? I never loved you, all right? The answer came without any hesitation. Moreover, whether in expression or tone, there was no trace of insincerity. Even without hearing my inner thoughts, Luan could tell clearly that I now had no feelings for her whatsoever. This realization made Liu Yan's eyes darken. It wasn't that she felt upset in her heart. It's just a sense of regret that while she was completely unaware, an incredibly sincere love for her had quietly vanished. After a long silence, Liu Yan asked in a hoarse voice, if Fang Yuan and I got married, would we be happy? Probably. I don't think so. I wouldn't know about that. Do you need anything else? Liu Yan shook her head. Then you should get some sleep. I'm going to take a nap too. I walked over to the family member's bed, took off my shoes, and lay down and closed my eyes. I could feel Liu Yan staring at me and felt a little annoyed. Why is she staring at me like that? Is she sick in the head? As soon as I had that thought, Yu Yan turned her face away. My furrowed brows gradually relaxed, and I quickly fell asleep. Liu Yan heard my breathing become steady and knew I was asleep. She looked over again. Young man was wearing a pair of long pants. Because he was lying down, the pant leg was pulled up a few centimeters, revealing his calf. At this moment, in Liu Yan's eyes, calves were firm and strong, with graceful, beautiful lines, very pleasing to the eye. Before, she never had eyes for me. Now that she did, she realized I was very handsome. A face with clear, sharp angles, an extraordinary aura, skin as white as snow, lips as red as peach blossoms, both rugged and handsome like a statue, captivating to look at. In terms of looks, I was no less than Fang Yuan. Perhaps her gaze was a bit too intense. I felt uncomfortable in my sleep and frowned, letting out a couple of grunts. She then turned over. Liu Ruyan let out a faint laugh and also closed her eyes. I slept straight until 4 in the afternoon. When I woke up, I saw the hospital room door was open and was a little curious. I turned over to look at Liu Ruyan lying on the hospital bed next to me. She seemed to still be asleep, not yet awake. I got out of bed, put on my shoes, and walked out of the room and saw Juya standing nearby. A smile appeared on my face. When did you get here? I just arrived not long ago. Juya had a quiet personality. She didn't like to smile. Faced with my smile, she could only manage a stiff twitch of her lips. The nurse said, "The door needs to be opened periodically for ventilation," so I opened it. So that's why I knew I couldn't act too familiar with Jay. Yeah, after speaking, I was about to head back into the room. "Young master, when I arrived, I saw Mr. Fang. He was on the phone downstairs. I don't know if he'll be coming up later." Zuya didn't really need to say this, nor should she have. Perhaps because she sensed my friendliness towards her, she said it anyway. I paused for a moment, then smiled. "It's fine. Let him come up if he wants to. The legs are on his body. No one can control where he goes, but Miss Lu will. That you didn't dare to be too explicit. She could only say that much. You'll feel uncomfortable then." I smiled and shook my head. "No, I'm used to it." Juya didn't know how to respond to that, so she chose to remain silent, just as I was about to say something else. A voice that was somewhat cold and tinged with anger came from the room. "Lean Fang, I'm thirsty." I instinctively rolled my eyes, then nodded with a smile at Juya and turned back into the room. The woman on the hospital bed looked at me with hostility. Thought she was just grumpy from waking up and was annoyed by everyone she saw, so I didn't think much of it. I poured a glass of water and brought it over. "Are you very close with Zuya?" A glint appeared in Liu Ruyan's eyes. She had asked a similar question once before. A look of disgust appeared on my face. I put the glass down and said coldly, "Not close, but you two don't look like you're not close," Lurian sneered. "Is there something wrong with her? Why is she suddenly concerned about whether I and Zhu, you know each other? We very close. Does she have that much free time? All right. This woman really does have a lot of free time now, but this is so annoying." Hearing my inner thoughts, Liu Yin's already unpleasant expression turned even uglier. He said a single good thing about her in his heart. Hearing it so much, it's hard not to feel annoyed. "You think we look very close? That's because I'm deliberately acting friendly." I smiled. Why would a man act friendly towards a woman? What other reason could there be? The corners of my mouth curled up even more, carrying a hint of malice. "Of course, it's because I have my eyes on her. Aren't you able to accept me cheating on you? Woman with a twisted mentality like you isn't easy to find. I have to take this opportunity to cheat on you a few more times. If we're going to play a thrilling game, then we must certainly seek the ultimate thrill. I'm going to disgust you to death." The moment my words fell, Liu Yan's face turned completely cold. Though she knew I was deliberately using words to disgust her and wasn't serious, she was still provoked. Her gaze towards me was deep and cold. I looked into it, and it was bottomless. I was a little startled in my heart. A cold chill crept into my heart. Lu Ruyan is the leader of a corporation. She naturally has the aura of a superior. When she's angry, even with no expression and without saying a word, it's enough to make people afraid. Before my rebirth, I had witnessed how she dealt with those who offended her. I was also afraid of her. If it weren't for anger and hatred and relying on the fact that she can't move now, I wouldn't dare to offend her like this. "Your guts have grown a lot." Lu Ruan smirked with a sinister laugh. "Keep it up." I pressed my lips together tightly. I stopped taking revenge on her. Otherwise, when she recovers and is discharged, I won't even know how I died. Lu Ruyan quietly listened to my inner thoughts. The smile on her face became mocking. Revenge on her? This man really dares to think. He must be thirsty, right? Some water. I picked up the glass, trying to temporarily appease Lu Ruyan's anger so she wouldn't rack her brains, thinking about how to deal with me later. Lu Ruyan gave a faint smile. "Hit me and then give me a sweet. There's no such thing. You're overthinking it. Don't admit defeat." Lu Ruyan let out a cold laugh, just as she was about to scare me a little. The sound of leather shoes came from outside. I guessed that Fang Yuan had arrived, so I brought the glass of water to Liu Ruyan's lips. "My love, let me help you drink." A sudden change in behaviour made Lu Ruyan pause for a moment. Then she saw Fang Yuan walking into the room and immediately understood why. Of course, she wouldn't cooperate with me unless she believed in Buddha. "Stay away from me," Luan said with a cold face. That predictable response. I wiped the smile off my face, stood up straight, shrugged my shoulders, and said with a sigh, "Still hate me this much." Fang Yuan walked over and took the glass from my hand, looking at Liu Yan with a gentle smile. Liu Ruyan's last words made him feel a little relieved. Yesterday, I was just putting on a false front. From the very beginning, Liu Ran only had eyes for him. She never even glanced at another man. How could she just change like that? Besides, a 20-year-old kid like me, not at all the type Liu Ruyan likes. His worries were completely unnecessary, but even so, He had to make Lu Ruyan and me divorce as soon as possible. He has waited too long, can't wait any longer. It's time to marry Lu Ruyan. As long as he acts nice to Lu Ruyan, what he wants will soon be his. What Fang Yuan was thinking in his heart, Lu Ruyan knew very well. She looked at the man in front of her, the man she had loved for many years, her eyes filled with bone-deep disappointment and disgust. It turned out the Fang Yuan in her eyes was the Fang Yuan that Fang Yuan wanted her to see. So fake. It was terrifying. Lu Ruyan hated being deceived the most. Let alone that this matter with Fang Yuan wasn't just simple deception. This man clearly dreamed of marrying her. He always pretended not to have romantic feelings for her, playing hard to get. He was truly playing her for a fool. Fang Yuan saw that Lu Ruyan wasn't drinking or speaking, just staring at him with a cold gaze, and he started to panic again. Sister Ruyan, what's wrong? Lu Ruyan lowered her eyes, her long eyelashes trembling slightly. I don't want to drink anymore. Then what do you want to drink? I'll go buy it for you. Okay. Fang Yuan blinked his big eyes, asking in a tone used to coax a child. Bro, can you use some common sense? Can she drink anything other than water right now? I was sprawled on the sofa, letting out a lazy yawn. Looks like you're still not charming enough. Otherwise, you went abroad for 5 difficult years and just came back. If you were to drink sulfuric acid for her, she would do so willingly. I might as well have written 5 words. I want to sow discord on my face. Anger rose in Fang Yuan's heart, but because he was in front of Liu Ruyan, he still held it in. Lin Fang, I know you don't like me. Actually, I can understand. But now that you're married to Sister Ruyan, I hope you two can live happily together. You really don't need to be hostile towards me. In what way do you see me being hostile towards you? I find his words ridiculous. Are you even worthy? Jing Yuan's expression changed instantly. No one had ever dared to speak to him like that in front of Liu Ruyan. What gave Lim Feng the right to be so bold? It was hard for Fang Yuan to accept this, all because Liu Ruyan had spoiled him, giving him a strong sense of superiority. To put it bluntly, he was a dog relying on its master's power, thinking he was something special. I didn't care what Fang Yuan's reaction was. What I cared about was Luan's reaction. If Liran flew into a rage because of what I said and threatened not to let me off, then I would back down and not confront her head-on. But if she only scolded me a little, then I would press my advantage. It would definitely make Fang Yuan so upset he wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Lurian stared at me, her eyes flashing, fully understanding the petty calculations in my heart. She scoffed lightly. Mr. Lin, you speak with such a big tone. I wonder who gave you that confidence, so I can't speak if I don't have confidence. The mouth is on my face. I'll say what I want to say. What does that have to do with having confidence or not? My attitude was extremely arrogant, making people grind their teeth just looking at me. That's right, you can say what you want, that's your freedom. Fang Yuan's eyes were slightly red. He glanced at me, then lowered his head. I snorted coldly and said with a contemptuous look, Thank you, Mr. Fang, for being so understanding. In the future, when I see you, if I say even harsher words, I hope you can let it go. Lu Ruyan now saw Fang Yuan's true colours clearly, so of course she wouldn't speak up for him anymore. She narrowed her eyes, beginning to ignore it and focus on listening to the two men's inner thoughts. Seeing that she still hadn't scolded me, Fang Yuan looked up at her. Liu Ruyan still didn't move. Fang Yuan bit his lip and reached out to grab Luan's arm, his face pale as he said, Forget it, Mr. Ruan. Lin Fang is young and doesn't know any better. He doesn't like me, so it's normal for him to say a few harsh words. Can he just shut up? An intense feeling of disgust spread from the bottom of her heart. In Lia's deep, dark eyes was filled with an unmeltable frost. In Fang Yuan's memory, Li Ruan's gaze towards him had always been gentle. There was no way she would look at him with such a cold gaze. He stared in disbelief, his face frighteningly pale. His eyes showed resentment and pain. Mr. Ron, why are you looking at me like that? I'm in a bad mood. Luan averted her gaze from his face. Both of you, be quiet, Sister Ron. Fang Yuan bit his lower lip hard. Are you still angry with me? Angry that I went abroad for 5 years straight and didn't even come back to visit you? You're overthinking it. Ruyon was so happy after you left. Otherwise, she wouldn't have married me and been so passionate on our wedding night. I interjected. I'm such a bastard. Just have to butt in when Fang Yuan is about to pull Liu Ruyan into a heart-to-heart, and with words that could drive Fang Yuan insane no less. You still want to have a heart-to-heart? If I let you have that heart today, you'll take your last name. Chu Ruyan was amused. The moment she was amused, Fang Yuan's heart turned half cold. If he continued to console himself, he would just be deceiving himself. Liu Yan probably didn't like him anymore. Otherwise, she absolutely wouldn't tolerate me showing off in front of him. The moment he thought about no longer having a chance to marry into the Lu family, Fang Yuan's heart grew restless, his hands clenched into fists. Unwilling to accept it, he looked at Luan with a pained expression. Sister Ruyan, is what he said true? I don't believe it. He must be lying, right? Seeing him so upset, I couldn't feel more gleeful. There was a fruit platter on the coffee table. The platter was filled with grapes that had already been picked. I reached out and grabbed a handful and tossed them into my mouth, one by one, looking very smug. Although I don't know why this woman, Liu Ran, has such a cold attitude towards Fang Yuan. This couldn't be better for me. When this woman gets out of the hospital, it'll definitely make Fang Yuan lose 10 kilograms from sorrow. Every other thought in my mind was this woman, which made Lu Rian's veins pop on her forehead. She didn't want me to be so smug. So, she looked up at Fang Yuan and gave him the first smile since they met. Of course, it's not true, I knew it. Yuan was so happy he could cry. Sister Ruyan, I regret it. I shouldn't have gone abroad in the first place. Otherwise, my expression turned a little unhappy. The grapes in my mouth no longer tasted sweet. I tossed the few remaining grapes onto the platter, stood up, and said, I'm going to the bathroom for a bit, as expected of Lu Yan, the man she has loved for so many years, and just be unloved at the drop of a hat. I really don't know how a person like Fang Yuan, who's one way to your face and another behind your back, with more schemes than seeds in a dragon fruit, could have possibly been loved by her and so infatuated for so many years with this kind of judgment of character. It's a miracle the Lu Corporation hasn't collapsed in her hands. Lin Fanglu Ruan's voice filled with boundless anger from Taimze. I stopped in my tracks and turned my head with a puzzled look. Fang Yuan also looked at her with a puzzled expression. Lu Ruyan took a few deep breaths, wanting to extinguish the fire in her heart, but ultimately failed. Get out and use the public restroom, Lu Ruyan roared. Lu Ruyan let others know that she can hear other people's inner thoughts. Getting angry now will only make others think she's sick. I'm speechless. Is she getting angry at me for Fang Yuan's sake? Isn't her reaction a bit too slow? Looks like her brain might have been damaged from the impact. For the first time, Liu felt that being able to hear inner thoughts was truly the worst thing ever, unless she was made of wood. Otherwise, she would sooner or later get sick from anger. If I muttered curses in my head and walked out of the room until I was far away and Lu Ruyan could no longer hear my inner thoughts, that her tightly furrowed brows began to relax. Sister Rian, during the 5 years I was away, I missed you very much. Without me to interfere, Chuan tried to have a heart-to. He heart with Luan again. Luan was in a bad mood and just gave a cold hum in a foreign land. All alone, I realized how much you protected me before and understood that only you can give me happiness. Funuan pressed his lips together, looking like he wanted to say something, but held back. Sister Ruyan, you and Linfang, do you have feelings for each other? What kind of feelings are you referring to? Lu Ran glanced at him. Of course, it's love. 2 people who marry must have love, right? Because only when 2 people are in love can they be happy. At least half of what he said was wrong. He said that on purpose. The purpose was to awaken the Liu Ran of the past, the one who couldn't be without him. Liu Ruyan at that time was certain that she and Feng Yuan would live very happily if they married. I'm not in love with him. Liu Ruyan's expression was calm. Fang Yuan was overjoyed. He was just about to speak. Liu Ran then changed her tone. But now I'm quite interested in him. In your eyes, does this count as a kind of affection? As soon as she finished speaking, the colour on Fang Yuan's face drained at a speed visible to the naked eye. Realizing that Li Ruyan might no longer love him was one thing. Hearing it with his own ears was still hard to accept. Ron, are you serious? Fang Yuan's throat felt like it was full of gravel. It sounded extremely hoarse. This blow was too great for him. Liu Ruyan, who had always been completely devoted to him. Now she was telling him with her own mouth that she was interested in another man. This was more unbearable than killing him. Liu Ran nodded, completely shattering the last bit of hope in Fang Yuan's heart he hoped he had misheard. Or that Liu Ran was speaking out of anger. Fortunately, it was neither. Liu Ruyan was telling the truth. Why? Fang Yuan gripped the decorative tassel on his bag. Didn't you? Are you trying to say, didn't I love you? Luan interrupted him. The mockery in her eyes couldn't have been more obvious. You were the one who always rejected my love. Whether I love you or not, is it important? I'm interested in Lin Fang. To you it should also be unimportant. So, why are you asking this? Don't you find it very strange? I just didn't want you to get me so easily. I wanted you to feel that me marrying you was something you had to beg for. That way you would know how to cherish me and always keep your heart with me. Only then could I in front of you hold my head high in the Liu family. But I didn't expect that. Your love for me was only this much. I went abroad to burnish my credentials and finally came back. Yet you become interested in another man. I've truly lost the whole game." Fang Yuan took a deep breath. He yanked hard, breaking the decorative tassel on his bag. He barely managed to calm down. "I regret it." "All right." Liru Yan's eyes were deep and cold. Fang Yuan's inner voice made her feel nothing but disgust for the man in front of her. He actually always wanted to control me. What great ambition. My inner thoughts, when I went to the bathroom, were harsh, but they were indeed correct. Her judgment of character is too poor. I know. Luyan's reaction was as calm as water, the thing she had always longed for before. She could now have it with just a beckon of her finger. She wasn't moved at all. "Your regret is your business, but I'm already married, so I'm very sorry." This was almost a direct declaration that there was no possibility between them anymore. Seeing years of effort go down the drain, Fang Yuan's emotions instantly collapsed. "Liru Yan, you're heartless." His face was covered in tears. Anyone seeing a man like that crying would feel some pity. But once Liu Ran hated someone, even if the other person was handsome and charming, it couldn't stir the slightest ripple in her heart. She didn't respond. Clear if she didn't want to respond, or was too lazy to respond, but whichever it was definitely pushing Fang Yuan's emotions further to the brink of collapse. "You clearly loved me so much before. Why don't you love me anymore?" Yuan cried as he wiped the tears from his face. His accusatory tone was like a child's. "You're a liar. You clearly said you would always wait for me." Luan remained unmoved. She glanced at the wall clock. "He's been in the bathroom for 15 minutes. Did he run away?" Luan's eyes darkened. "If this man dares to run, don't blame me for being merciless. I'm a bit of a slow burn. It's not like you don't know that. Besides, I was young at the time. I was still very vague about feelings. But now, I'm sure I love you too. Even before I realized it myself. I was already in love with you." Fang Yuan didn't realize at all that Liu Yan wasn't listening to him at all. He was crying and pouring his heart out very seriously. "I came out of the bathroom. I took a phone call from Bingji. I was a little late getting back. When I reached the door of the hospital room, I heard a man crying inside. I opened my mouth with a smirk. 'Mr. Fang, you shouldn't cry at my wife's bedside like that. People who don't know might think she's dead.' Yuan's crying stopped abruptly. He turned his head and glared at me with resentment. This brat must have used some underhanded trick to bewitch Ruyan and said a lot of bad things about me behind my back. Otherwise, Ruyan has loved me for so many years. Could she just stop loving me like that? It's impossible for her to just stop loving me. Ruyan must still have feelings for me in her heart. I still have a chance. My years of effort absolutely cannot go to waste." Yuan's inner voice made Lu Ruyan feel both annoyed and very angry. Her love for Fang Yuan was created under his calculations. Moreover, for all these years he has always played her in the palm of his hand. For someone as proud as her, this was a great humiliation. "Don't look at me like that. I'm scared. I don't know what happened between Lu Ruyan and Fang Yuan in the 15 minutes I was gone. But, based on the current situation, the two of them definitely had a falling out. If I don't stir up trouble now, when else would I do it? Wifey." So scared, I ran to the bedside. I squatted down and rested my chin on the bed, looking pitifully at Lu Ruyan. The way he looks at me is like he wants to eat me alive. I don't think it's that serious. Isn't it just that I stole her love for him and her body too? Why is he so angry? It's so disgusting." Nuran glanced at me. The corner of her mouth twitched almost imperceptibly, just based on this personality of mine. Did he really do something to me in our past life? Sir, Luan still didn't understand at this moment. To love someone also means exposing your weakness, exposing it to the one you love. If one day the person you love wants to hurt you, the knife is still the one you handed them yourself if it weren't for being too in love. Who would so easily give someone the chance to hurt them? "Lin Fang, that's enough." The fire of anger in Fang Yuan's heart shot straight to his brain. He pointed at my nose uncontrollably. "You're doing this on purpose to disgust me. Where did I disgust you? Don't slander people. I'm telling the truth. You clearly know that between me and Ruyan." "What do I know?" I interrupted Fang Yuan. I playfully stuck out my tongue. "I'm only 20 this year. You and Ran are both 26. When you two could have been kissing, hadn't even graduated from middle school. How would I know what was going on between you two? Mr. Fang, I know you like Ruyan, and Ruan likes you too. But we're married, but it's not impossible for you two to be together. After all, Ruyan can accept me cheating on her. Can't be too narrow-minded either, right? I can't allow you two to have a little affair now and then. What is this nonsense you're spouting on? Listen to what he's saying. You say you're interested in this kind of man. I really can't believe it." Fang Yuan shouted angrily. "Only 20, not 26. I can only be considered a boy, not a man or an uncle or anything," I said with a giggle. So satisfying, it'll piss you off so much it'll mess up your hormones. Whether Fang Yuan was angry enough to mess up his hormones is unknown for now. Right now, he's definitely about to have a brain hemorrhage from anger. His body swayed a few times. He squeezed out 2 words from between his teeth. Lin Fang. What is it, uncle? Oh, wait. Mr. Fang, why are you calling my name so excitedly? I blinked my big eyes. My expression was innocent compared to Fang Yuan, who was in a state of rage and had a powerful aura. This appearance of mine is definitely more likable. Even Fang Yuan thought so. He realized that his current appearance must be extremely ugly. He took a few deep breaths. Then did he manage to adjust his facial expression. Then he asked with a fierce look in his eyes. Lin Fang, you really like acting like a green tea boy, don't you? Acting like a green tea boy? I tilted my head with a puzzled expression. Mr. Fang, what does acting like a green tea boy mean? I don't really understand. Fang Yuan let out a cold laugh. He looked down at Lu Ruyan. Ruan, he says he doesn't understand, but you should understand, right? Lu Ruyan's family background and her once-in-a-million beautiful face destined her to always be surrounded by men, but she only had eyes for Fang Yuan towards the men who actively pursued her. She always rejected them with a cold face. But there was once an exception. During her high school days, a male classmate of hers was also very skillful and actually received her admiration. After Fang Yuan found out, he approached that classmate and discovered that he was a typical green tea boy. So, he told Liu Ran directly. Explaining what a green tea boy was, Liu Ran had always listened to his words. She immediately distanced herself from that classmate, and from then on, she hated this type of boy. So, this was a very advantageous counterattack for Fang Yuan to use against me right now. Fortunately, the Liu Ruyan of today was no longer someone who would listen to him or go along with everything he said like before. I only saw Liu Ruyan glance at me. Then she looked at Fang Yuan and asked, "Is that so?" Fang Yuan's body swayed. His face looked as ugly as if he'd just eaten Mr. Fang. "I'm just kidding with you. Of course I know what a green tea boy is, but I'm not acting like a green tea boy. I'm acting cute." I tapped my chin with my index finger, a charming smile. Acting cute for the woman who likes me, shall like me even more. Such a profitable deal. Why wouldn't I do it? Ruan doesn't like you, Fang Yuan roared. Of course, I know Lu Ruyan doesn't like me. So, even though right now between Liu Yan and Fang Yuan, conflict has arisen for some unknown reason, and Liu Yan is sulking at Fang Yuan, I wouldn't bet on Liu Ran cooperating with me to piss off Fang Yuan. After all, losing a bet is very embarrassing. So, I thought for a moment and said something that was pretty irrefutable. I'm a pretty shameless person. Even if your Ruyan doesn't like me, you'll just act as if she likes me. What a genius, Mr. Fang. Although you're older now, acting cute isn't cute anymore, but there's no other way to be able to win my wife's affection. You should still give it a try. My wife may not say it, but she might really like it in her heart. My words were truly as shameless as they could be, and as infuriating as they could be. The wife this, wife that part especially made Fang Yuan furious if it were anyone else. They would have lost their composure and started cursing by now. But Fang Yuan was smart after all. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made Lu Ruyan fall in love with him. So he knew that in the current situation, it was impossible for him to turn the tables. Fang Yu's hand, which was tightly gripping his bag, loosened slightly. He forced a smile. Lin Fang, you're still too young. You don't know that a man's charm isn't just about being cute. But that's okay. I'll let you know what kind of man is most suitable for Ruan. I shrugged. The action was even more infuriating than words. Fang Yuan was afraid that if he stayed any longer, I'd piss him to death. He looked at Liu Yan with a pale face and said, "Ruan, I'm not feeling well. I'm leaving first. You'll come visit you again tomorrow." As soon as he finished speaking, he didn't get any response from the woman. If it were before, he just had to say he wasn't feeling well, and Luan would be extremely worried, treating him like a fragile newborn, even during the 5 years he was abroad when he wasn't well. Fuan would always find a way to arrange for someone to take him to the hospital and take care of him very attentively. But now, Lu Ruan was completely unmoved. If this isn't falling out of love, what else could it be? The rims of Fang Yuan's eyes turned red. Really not wanting to let his dignity be completely trampled on the ground, he didn't say another word. He turned and left. I'm so unwilling to accept this. Could it be that after all my years of effort, I still can't marry into the Lu family in the end? I'm really so unwilling to accept this. No, I absolutely cannot give up. With my status and background, it's too difficult to marry a woman from a prominent family. Only with Lu Ran is there still some hope. As long as there's a little hope, I have to grasp it tightly. Otherwise, for the rest of my life, I can only be someone of low status. Lu Ruyan lowered her eyes, silently, listening to Fang Yuan's inner thoughts. A trace of mockery flashed in her eyes. Fang Yuan wanted to change his low status by marrying her. This was his only goal from beginning to end. What a pity that her sincere feelings were fed to the dogs. One is because, for so many years, it's getting late. I'm going home, too. I have class tomorrow. Fang Yuan is gone. I don't need to pretend to be cute anymore. Sharp-featured face returned to its previous ice-cold expression. With your speed of changing faces, it's a pity you don't go into opera. The corner of Liu Rian's mouth curved into a distinct arc. She seemed to be in a very good mood. The reason she could love Fang Yuan. 1. Fang Yuan was indeed skillful. 2. He happened to be the type of person Liu Ran liked. As for me, I'm the complete opposite type of person to Fang Yuan, but I don't know why. Now, the more she looks at me, the more pleasing to the eye I become. She even found the way I pissed off Fang Yuan earlier to be very cute. Liu Yan felt that she must have gone crazy. Could it be because of those inner thoughts of mine? Knowing how much I used to love her. Is that why this is happening? She didn't know. She only knew that before she could figure out what I had experienced before my rebirth, she couldn't possibly let me leave her side. If you dare to listen, I dare to sing, I said with a blank face. Deal, 30 million per show. Luan sneered. You actually dare to ask for it? You still dare to listen? What is there that I wouldn't dare to ask for? I stood up, ready to leave. You'll have the nurse take care of you tonight. No, Lu Ruan disagreed. It wasn't that she couldn't bear to be away from me. She was afraid I would go to the psychiatric ward again and randomly drag someone over. Thinking back to the woman from this afternoon, her mood still wasn't very good. I frowned, just about to say something to her. Shuru walked in from outside. Cursed my bad luck internally. I just sent Fang Yuan off, and now comes a Shuru, a warrior, but I can't fight anymore, this late at night. Seeing me with my school bag in hand, Shiru asked with a sour expression, Are you planning to leave? I nodded coldly. It's too late. Don't go home. My mother will worry. Cut the crap. Your stepmother would worry about you. Shu's face was full of mockery. She's just hoping you die outside so there's no one to fight with her son for the family fortune. If you don't know how to talk, then sew your mouth shut. The Liu family has a great fortune. They surely don't lack a needle and thread. I was too lazy to argue with her. After saying that, I left. This time, Judge Shuru knew her place. She didn't stop me either. After I left the hospital room, Shu quickly went to the bedside. She placed the thermal lunchbox she was carrying on the bedside table. Daughter, Mom stewed some chicken soup for you. This car accident has injured your foundation. You must nourish yourself well. Drink a few more bowls later. Liu Yan nodded lightly, not saying anything. As Shu poured the chicken soup into a bowl, she observed her daughter's expression. After she finished pouring, she pretended to say casually, I saw Fang Yuan downstairs. I saw his eyes were red. Did you two argue? No. I know what you're trying to probe. Lu Ruyan interrupted Shu. Her eyes were calm and waveless. Evie said it. Besides, Grandpa, no one can decide my marriage. As for my love life, even more so, no one has the right to ask about or decide it. The more she spoke, the sharper her gaze became. Shua's throat tightened. She wanted to speak, but didn't dare to. In the end, she could only sigh. Then she had Lu Ruyan drink 2 large bowls of chicken soup. Then she tidied up a bit and left. Juya was standing right outside. Shu walked past her. Then she stepped back, looking at her with a probing gaze. Assistant Ju, have you been standing outside this whole time? Then do you know with Fang Yuan inside just now? What happened between the 3 of them? Shu leaned close to Juya and whispered in her ear. A flicker appeared in Juya's eyes. She shook her head. Director Leo instructed that when there are others in the room, I should stand a little further away, so I don't know anything. Shru clicked her tongue a little displeased. But Juya was Liu Ruan's person after all. She didn't dare to be too outrageous. She could only leave resentfully. I left the hospital and went straight to my family home. Jiang Yuan was sitting on the sofa in the living room, wearing a face mask, watching TV. Hearing the door open, she turned her head. Seeing I was back, she took off the face mask she had just put on. Why are you back here at Jadewater Villa? It's just you and Auntie Chen. I'm scared being alone on the 2nd floor. She put the keys on the shoe cabinet and walked into the living room. I sat down next to Jiang Yuan. Besides, it's not as comfortable there as it is at home. Jiang Yuan glanced at me and said with a cold snort, even though you plan to divorce Lu Ruyan, you've been married for less than 2 days, and you're already running back to your family home. If other people find out, who knows what they'll say about you behind your back. I don't care what other people say about me. Grabbed a grape from the fruit plate and put it in my mouth, I said, with a relaxed expression. Even if no woman wants me in the future, I don't care. Staying by Mom and Dad's side for my whole life is exactly what I want. You're just talking nonsense. Jing Yuan looked at me angrily. If you say another word, I'll kick you out and let you fend for yourself outside. I smiled faintly. Would you have the heart to? You're not my biological son. Why wouldn't I have the heart to? If she had said this before my rebirth, you might be very unhappy after seeing this, and from then on, you'd be even more prejudiced against Fang Yuan. But now it's not like that at all. I swallow the grape in my mouth. Then I get up from the sofa. Mom probably guessed you'd be back tonight. Otherwise, she wouldn't have left. Freshly washed grapes on the coffee table. Mom, you're always so cold on the outside, but warm on the inside. You'll lose out sooner or later. Fang Yuan scoffed slightly. The biggest loss I've suffered is not kicking you out sooner. Mixing so much food. I chuckled. It'll be mooching off you for many more years. Even if you don't like it, you'll have to put up with it. After saying that, I scampered upstairs. Line Fang, when are you moving your things back? Fang Yuan stood up and called out to me. Stopped and looked downstairs. It'll move tomorrow. Help me contact a moving company. Okay. Do I owe you something? Fang Yuan shouted, angrily. I knew for sure she would help me, so I went upstairs with a cheerful face, returning to the room I hadn't seen in a long time. I took a deep breath. The scent of lavender filled my nostrils, relaxing my tense spirit from the whole day before I was reborn. After marrying Liu Ruyan, I rarely came home, but every time I did, my room was always clean and tidy, filled with the scent of lavender. Even if I didn't come back, Genuine would still clean my room regularly. It's a pity my brain was waterlogged in my past life. Even though I noticed this, I never thought carefully about why. I sighed softly. I walked to the wardrobe, opened the closet. Clean pajamas. I smiled. I took the pajamas and went into the bathroom. Once my nerves relaxed, I couldn't help but feel sleepy, afraid I'd fall asleep in the bathtub. I gave up the idea of taking a bath. After a hot shower, I got out of the bathroom. To lay on the bed, I let out a comfortable groan. It's great being 20 and reading books every day, hanging out with friends in my free time, living for my own happiness. Isn't that 100 times better than revolving around a woman every day, letting her decide my mood all the time? Someone who has tasted bitterness doesn't want to eat even a little bit of it later. That's the state I'm in right now. I turned over, thinking about what I had to do at school tomorrow. I thought for a while and then fell asleep. The next day, when I woke up and went downstairs, I saw Fang Yuan on the phone. I didn't go over. I stood there and listened to a sentence or two. I could tell she was calling a moving company. I went to pour a glass of water. I waited for Fang Yuan to hang up. Immediately handed her the water. Mom, you've worked hard. Fang Yuan glanced at me. She must be in a good mood. She took the glass of water without a word. My eyes darted around. I raised both hands to massage her shoulders. Mom, I want to find a hospital for my clinical studies. Do you know anyone who works at a hospital? A doctor or a nurse would be fine. It's more convenient to do things there if you know someone. Fang Yuan closed her eyes, enjoying my service. A few years ago, I had a stomachache. I went to Tonk Hospital to see a doctor. Don't be fooled by his youth, but his medical skills are excellent. After seeing him many times, I became familiar with him. Then we exchanged contact information. We've kept in touch sporadically over the years. Let me ask him for you. Great. I knew you were well connected. Mom, you make useful friends wherever you go. I've now grasped how to get along with Fang Yuan. As long as I sweet-talk her, everything is negotiable. No matter how arrogant Fang Yuan is with flattery like this, she can't bring herself to scold me. She just glared at me and said nothing. After breakfast, I went out to go to school. I left quite early. As soon as I got to school, I texted Bingjie. Bai Ming said he had just woken up, so I had to go to the classroom first. When I got inside, I discovered that the seats I and Bingjie usually sat in were taken. There was a girl in the seat. I'd never seen her in class before. When I walked past her, I curiously glanced at her a few more times. Unexpectedly, the girl suddenly looked up. Two of us looked at each other. I awkwardly nodded at her. Hi. The girl had a stony face. She didn't say a word and looked down again. Now, I wasn't just embarrassed. I also looked like a clown. I frowned, although I was a little unhappy. It wasn't worth arguing with someone so rude, so I didn't say anything. I sat in a spot a little far from the girl. After putting down my school bag, I opened my anatomy book to review the previous lesson's content. I'm a pretty serious reader, easily distracted by my surroundings. So, when it started getting a bit noisy around me, I felt annoyed. When I looked up, the classroom was already packed. I had a bewildered look on my face because there was no one I knew in the class. I reacted pretty quickly. It only took 2 seconds to realize I had entered the wrong classroom. I immediately grabbed my book and bag and headed for the door. Isn't that Lin Fang from the medical department? Why is he here? Looks like he went to the wrong class. The corner of my mouth twitched. Walked even faster. Although I've been very low-key since starting university, my grades are excellent, and my looks aren't bad either. Plus, Bai Mingji promotes me wherever he goes. It's hard not to be famous. I struggled a bit to get out of the classroom. Turned my head to look at the class name plate and silently cursed myself. I clearly slept well last night and woke up feeling refreshed. How could I have gone to the wrong floor? I walked upstairs while checking my watch. Glance told me there were 2 minutes left until class started. I hurriedly ran up. Finally, when the bell rang, I just managed to run to the classroom door. The professor on the podium glanced at me and didn't say anything, motioned for me to quickly take a seat and then prepared to start the lecture. I found Ba Ming and quickly walked over to sit down. Fing, did you get to school early? Why did you just get to class? Bai Mingj leaned into my ear and whispered, don't mention it. Went into the wrong classroom. I was too engrossed in reading to notice. I propped my book up on the desk and lowered my head with a resentful expression. Puffed. Bing Jay couldn't help but laugh. I glared at him with a warning look, seeing that I was really annoyed. First Bing Jay suppressed his laughter, not daring to act up anymore. The two of them whispered a bit too loudly. The professor looked in our direction and stopped lecturing. He cleared his throat. All the students in the class followed his gaze. This time, it was great. Bai Mingji also got a taste of embarrassment. Both of us behaved ourselves and started listening attentively to the lecture. As this class was about to end, I caught a glimpse of someone passing by outside the classroom out of the corner of my eye. Though it was just a fleeting glance, I would recognize this person, even if he turned to ash. It's my old enemy, Fang Yuan. Why is he at H University? I frowned and looked outside the classroom for a moment. The bell for the end of class rang. I packed my school bag and pulled Bingji out of the classroom. I just saw Fang Yuan. What? Fang Yuan? Bingjia looked astonished. He's back in the country. I didn't tell him this news yesterday. 1. I didn't want his little head that overthinks things to think nonsense. 2. I was afraid he'd demand to go settle scores with Fang Yuan. Ever since Bingjie knew I liked Lu Ruyan and Liu Ran liked Fang Yuan, he has disliked Fang Yuan. Whenever he saw him, he would definitely taunt him a few times. But because Lu Ran protected him, not only did he gain nothing each time, but he also ended up with a belly full of anger. Now, as long as I dare to nod, Bingji would dare to dig 3 feet deep here to find Fang Yuan. Don't get excited just yet. Listen to me first. I grabbed Bai Mingji's arm and patted his chest with my other hand. Lu Ruyan and Fang Yuan are having a conflict. Last night at the hospital, I scolded Fang Yuan and Lu Ran didn't react at all. So don't rush to settle scores with him. No way. You vented your anger. Need to vent, too. You're not unaware how badly he used to curse me with his innuendos. Moreover, the rumours outside that I'm no good were also spread by him. He's just jealous of my good family background, thinking that people like me with no brains are not smart and lack ambition and are only valued by others because of our good family background. He finds it unfair. Bai Ji has some talent for judging people. He analysed Fang Yuan's psychology very accurately. Bai Mingj, you're pretty good. I looked at him with a scrutinising gaze, as if I were meeting him for the first time. I really underestimated you before. I thought you were just a useless rich kid who did nothing and was empty-headed. Get lost. Bai Mingji pretended to be angry and raised his hand to pat my shoulder lightly. Why are you as annoying as that Fang Yuan? All right. I was just kidding. I grabbed his hand. If you were really, as I said, how could you have gotten into H University? It's just that in many matters, you don't want to think too much. Your thoughts are relatively simple. This is actually a good thing. Bai Ming liked hearing these words. He pouted at me, then broke into a smile. Hell, give it to you. You know how to talk. He'll reluctantly forgive your disrespect just now. I looked at his silly appearance and pinched his chiseled face. I want to know what Fang Yuan is doing at H University. Help me find out. I can find this out just by asking around. Bai Mingji looked around. Bai here, let me see who can. Hey Fonji, come here. A girl leaning against a wall not far away heard him. She looked towards us, walked over. Mingji, what's up? Fonzie looked sleepy. I was dozing off. All you do all day is sleep. I want to ask you about someone. It's now before class ended. A man walked past in the hallway. Did you see where he went? Fonji opened her eyes slightly. She was silent for a few seconds, then said he was holding a job application in his hand, probably a new teacher. He must have gone to the principal's office. He came to H University to be a teacher. Bingji couldn't believe it, his eyes wide. Is he even worthy? A master's degree from abroad. Why wouldn't he be worthy? I said with a mocking expression. Crappy school he attended abroad. You can get in with money back then. Who knows how much money Lu Ruyan spent to get him in. Now he's back in the country and came to H University to be a teacher. Does he really think he's that great? The more Ba Mingji spoke, The angrier he got. After finishing, he walked towards the stairs. It was clear he wanted to go to the principal's office. To cause trouble for Fang Yuan, I hurriedly pulled him back. Mingji, don't be hasty. Even if we don't go looking for him, he will come looking for us. Mingji looked at me doubtfully. How do you know? Yesterday, I made him lose face in front of Liu Ruyan. Now that he's at H University, and has even become a teacher at H University, he definitely wants to take this opportunity to get even and teach me a lesson. Smirked with a sly smile. I understand him very well now. Bai Mingji had always believed my words, and seeing me speak so confidently, Bingji pouted. All right then, I'll believe you. I'll wait for him to deliver himself to our doorstep. The next class is about to start. Smiled at Fonjiru. Thanks. We're heading back to class now. Fonjiru nodded listlessly. She raised her hand and patted Bingji's head. Then she returned to her original spot, leaning against the wall and dozing off. Bingji looked at her and mumbled, "She's so weird. She's liking to sleep against the wall like that. I wonder if she can actually fall asleep for her to be like that. It's either she has a strange hard-to-understand hobby, or she has some kind of purpose." I looked down at him with a meaningful expression. Bai Ming, shouldn't you be in a relationship by now? Fanji is indeed a strange person. She has always been a loner at school. At first, I was very curious why such a lonely person was familiar with Bai Ming. Later, I heard that Fanji was originally the illegitimate daughter of Fan Group's chairman Fan Ming. Fan Ming had a car accident. His wife and daughter were also in the car, only he was saved. After waking up, he had someone call Fanio to his bedside. The meaning was self-evident. It was also from this moment that Fonjgruber began to pursue Bang Jae and pursued him very openly. That's why I said those words that confused Bang Jae so much just now. Why are your sentences so disconnected? Bingj looked at me like I was crazy. Besides, I told you a long time ago, I don't want to taste the bitterness of love. I want to live happily alone for the rest of my life. If there's someone who can love you for a lifetime, it's definitely happier than being alone, I said, with a grin. Bai Ming Jae scoffed. Give me a break. I don't believe any woman can love one man for a lifetime. Even in Disney's beautiful fairy tales, the prince is always the same person. Is that true? I was shocked. Bai Ming glared at me. If you don't believe me, look it up online yourself. You're so knowledgeable. Believe you. At that moment, the bell for class rang in my ears. I ended this topic and pulled Bingji back to class. Halfway through the class, Bingji leaned into my ear and whispered, "When is Fang Yuan coming to find you?" To wait until at least the end of this class, but after this class is the lunch break. Under my teasing gaze, Bingji stubbornly said, "I have to eat during the lunch break. Aren't you hungry?" He's a glutton. He never skips any of his 3 meals a day. His mouth doesn't rest for the remainder of the time. Not letting him eat at mealtime is worse than killing him. Then you go eat. He'll wait for Fang Yuan alone. No way. How could I leave you alone to face the enemy? Am I that disloyal? Bai Mingji said indignantly, as if I were insulting him. I understood him, asked with amusement. Have you thought it through not eating lunch anymore? It was clear he hadn't thought it through. He wanted to eat lunch, but he also didn't want to leave me. He hesitated for a long time. He pulled me with a happy expression. Didn't you say Fang Yuan would come looking for you? Then, let's go to the cafeteria. Hell, come find you there too. That's right. Our brains are so stupid, not flexible at all. Bai Mingja packed his school bag. Hurry up. If we're a little late, my favourite dish will be gone. I glanced at him. I didn't say that if we go to the cafeteria, Fang Yuan might not necessarily find us. A person who cares so much about his status and tries to make himself look high class and like a peerless noble. A place like the school cafeteria he would never deign to come to. But even if Fang Yuan doesn't come, hell use other methods to make trouble for him later. It's not like this is the only chance. It's just a pity for Bingji that he can't vent the anger from that year. I had underestimated how provoked he was yesterday when I saw Fang Yuan and a female teacher walk into the cafeteria. I was a little surprised for a moment. I guessed that maybe Fang Yuan was too angry that he would rather lower his status to come here just to find me and vent his anger. I bit the end of my chopsticks, my eyes crinkling with a smile. Bai Mingji, turn around and see who's here. Bai Mingji was busy eating. He had no mind to listen to me. Not until Fang Yuan walked over. Did he look up at him without reacting at first? Then he looked at him again, and finally reacted, staring at him with wide eyes. Long time no see. Fang Yuan smiled gently and politely. His face was meticulously neat and clean. He wore the latest season's Armani suit. The watch on his wrist was a limited edition, priceless and unavailable for purchase. One look and you could tell this was a true young master, a son from some rich family. Oh! Puntus, isn't this young Master Fang who's kept by a woman? For someone with a noble status like you, wouldn't coming here dirty you? Bing-jae put down his chopsticks. He stopped eating. His whole body switched to attack mode. Compared to me in the past, Fang Yuan hated Bing-jae more. It's like now. Ba Mingji had an arrogant expression and spoke with sharp sarcasm. Although it said that a soft knife hurts more, a hard knife can also be deadly. Every time Fang Yuan was mentally and physically crushed by his stabs, how could he not hate him? Xuan's expression turned a little ugly because he was in a hurry to get revenge on me for yesterday at the hospital. He had forgotten about Ba Mingji's existence. When Liu Ruyan wasn't here, this glutton was his nemesis. The female teacher with Fang Yuan heard these words and looked at him with a slightly strange expression. The student, you should watch your mouth. This is an insult to my character. Be careful or sue you. Fang Yuan's eyes were stern, full of imposing momentum. He truly had the air of a teacher disciplining. A student, sue me by Ming Jia sneered. Someone who studied Western knowledge is truly different. You even speak with more authority than before. Not only authority, you've also lost your memory. Shot, then wouldn't my wife become a fool? The man she supported for so many years has come to nothing, I continued. These words contained a bit too much information. Teacher Chen, who was with Fang Yuan, looked at Fang Yuan with an embarrassed expression. Teacher Fang, do you know these two students? We are indeed old acquaintances. Of course, Fang Yuan couldn't let Teacher Chen believe Bing-jae and my words. He frowned and emphasized. But there's a little misunderstanding between us, so his expression was calm. He spoke with a degree of restraint, exuding the aura of a mature man. It was very convincing. I see. Teacher Chen had a smile on her face again. Her words were full of concern. I knew Teacher Fang wouldn't be the kind of person they described. Graceful and virtuous lady is a gentleman's fine pursuit. Fang Yuan is handsome and has a good disposition. If you walk around the school, I can't say 100%, but at least 80% of the single female teachers would be smitten and be eager to make a move. Naturally, Teacher Chen is one of them. Bingji covered his mouth and snickered. Fang Yuan, don't you blush hearing what Teacher Chen said? A thick-skinned person wouldn't show a blush even if they had one. The two of them sang in perfect harmony, their words harsh. Fang Yuan's face turned pale, then ashen. 2 fists can't fight 4 hands. No matter how he tried, he was at a disadvantage. He took a deep breath and looked at Teacher Chen, his eyes weening slightly. Teacher Chen, thank you for bringing me here. It's getting late. You should go get some food. Just let them say what they want here. I don't care. After speaking, he walked over to my side, looking like he was about to sit down. Teacher Chen quickly pulled him back, saying worriedly, Teacher Fang, what are you still planning to sit here for? To let them insult you as they please? She looked at me and by Ming-jae, her face showing clear anger. What major are you students in? This is the new Teacher Fang from the pharmacy department. You've studied for so many years. Don't you know how to respect your teachers? I didn't look at her, but let out a cold laugh at Fang Yuan. Liu Yan isn't here, so you plan to use Teacher Chen as your backer. I see it crystal clear. You really can't live without relying on women. We are clinical medicine students. You're not a teacher for clinical medicine, are you? Then you have no authority over us. Bai Mingji has been an unruly troublemaker since he was young. He wouldn't back down just because the woman in front of him has the status of a teacher. Teacher Chen is from the nursing department. Even if her reach was long, she couldn't manage. Students from the clinical medicine department. Teacher Chen's face showed a bit of embarrassment. But in front of Fang Yuan, she couldn't soften her stance. She had to say firmly, even if I'm not your major's teacher, you are students, and I am a teacher. I still have the right to discipline you. I don't want to argue with you about this. You can discipline us. But what if we don't listen? Bai Mingjia picked up his chopsticks, a mocking expression on his face. A university teacher with such a wide reach. This is the first time I've seen one. Otherwise, why don't you take a needle and thread and sew our mouths shut? That way, Teacher Fangu won't have to suffer anymore. He bluntly pointed out Teacher Chen's feelings for Fang Yuan, making her extremely embarrassed. Fang Yuan glanced at her, his brows furrowing slightly. If he married a woman like this, he could only let others bully him, becoming an extremely lowly person. Only Lu Ruyang could make him a man above all others. Respected by everyone, therefore, he must win this battle. I can't win against him. Teacher Chen didn't dare say anything more to me and Ba Mingji, afraid we would say something to make her even more embarrassed and make Fang Yuan lose even more face. So, she spoke to Fang Yuan in a gentle voice. Teacher Fang, they're still just kids. Don't stoop to their level, especially with your status. It would be demeaning. What kind of status does he have? My smile was full of hidden meaning. A gigolo or an older male student being kept. I've told you. Watch your words. Angguan was truly angry now. his tone extremely stern, just as Teacher Chen said, "I am a teacher after all, so please show me some respect." I shrugged. Smile on my face looked very punchable. "I was just asking. I didn't say that's what you are. No need to get so worked up." How could he not be worked up if he didn't get worked up? Wouldn't there be no way to trick others into thinking our words are false? Bai Mingji rested his chin on his hand and looked at Teacher Chen. "Teacher Chen, am I right? You students are truly unreasonable. You've gone too far. I really don't know how two students with such poor character managed to get into medical school. It's truly a disgrace to the school." Bingji looked at me and mouthed the word woof. I understood his meaning, and we both chuckled softly. Isn't this a genuine simp? Fang Yuan really has a talent. He gathers quite a few simps wherever he goes, and they're the type with no limits. But it's not surprising. After all, Fang Yuan is considered god-tier handsome. A person with a not-so-great past in front of someone who knows about his not-so-great past will naturally be at a disadvantage. If it were just me, it would be better. But with Bingjia here too, no matter how he struggles now, he can't gain the upper hand. Originally, I wanted to resolve the misunderstanding between us and live together peacefully in the future. But since you don't want to, then I have nothing more to say. I've done everything I needed to do. "I wish you the best of luck in the future," Fang Yuan said as he stood up. "Teacher Fang, you've been wronged." Seeing Teacher Chen's concerned look, Bingjia found it incredibly unsightly and said in a cold tone, "Teacher Chen, this handsome young Master Fang in front of you, was born in a poor mountain village. The outfit he is wearing now is worth no less than tens of millions, maybe even more, because the watch on his wrist is a priceless, hard-to-find item. It'll tell you the brand. You can go home and look it up online." "So, do you still think I'm insulting him? Just telling the truth?" I continued with a sinister smile. Teacher Chen's expression changed. "We've made it so clear. If she still doesn't believe it, she's either stupid or her mind is clouded by beauty beyond cure, after all." Teacher Chen had only just met Fang Yuan. She just had a crush on him, not deep feelings. So, she gave Fang Yuan a deep look, then turned and left. Fang Yuan's face was ashen. He stood there for a long time without saying anything. "Young Master Fang, I know you were eager to settle yesterday's score with me. To get even, but you should use your brain a little. Before coming, you should have asked around about Ba Mingjia to see if he goes to the same school as me. After all, he's your nemesis," I said with a bright smile. "Of course, now I'm also Fang Yuan's nemesis. It's just that Fang Yuan hasn't realized it yet. I don't need to ask around. You say Bingji is my nemesis. You're overestimating him." Fang Yuan laughed coldly. "Besides, I didn't come here to get even. In the future, there'll be a teacher at H University. It's inevitable that we'll meet from time to time. I just came to say hello. What kind of teacher are you?" I'm really dying of laughter. "Let me ask you, did you study medicine abroad?" Bingji's face was full of ridicule, gaze pressuring Fang Yuan to answer his question immediately. Fang Yuan's expression stiffened. Then he adjusted his expression and said, very calmly, "I have a pharmacist's certificate. I'm qualified to be a teacher in the pharmacy department." He didn't directly answer Bingji's question. Mingji truly admired his mental fortitude. He was clearly in the wrong, yet he could still act so calm. "Don't you feel that standing here now quibbling in front of us makes you look very much like a clown?" Look down at my watch. "If I were you, I would have left long ago to save my last shred of dignity, not wait until the lunch break is almost over. We're leaving first." After saying that, I stood up and gestured with my chin to Bai Mingj, signalling for him to go. Two of us, with our arms around each other's shoulders, swaggered away right in front of Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan stood frozen in place, his hateful gaze fixed on our retreating backs, hating us so much he nearly ground his teeth to dust. In the past, I was always meek in front of him, never daring to provoke him at all. A lot can happen in 5 years. It can also change a person's personality for me to become like this. He wasn't surprised, but for a moment, he still couldn't accept it. The young master, who had always only been able to read. His expression before speaking suddenly dared to have an attitude with him, especially when faced with my mocking gaze, which seemed to see right through him. He couldn't remain calm. He didn't want me to realize I was a young master who could completely hold my head high and live without restraint, just like baying. Fang Yuan squeezed his eyes shut, then quickly left the cafeteria. Bingji and I had vented our anger and were in an extremely good mood. Before when the afternoon classes ended, I once again rejected Bingji's invitation and went to the hospital. Before the car accident, Lu Ran was a workaholic. The time she spent lying in bed 24 hours a day was extremely rare, but now she had to lie in bed for 24 hours straight. The level of discomfort was imaginable. I was in a pretty good mood. I entered the hospital room with a smiling face, a complete contrast to Lu Yan, who was wearing a foul expression, such an ugly expression. Who are you showing it to? Don't show it to me, or else I'll leave immediately, I thought to myself. She had intended to give me an attitude, but Lu Yan took a deep breath and reluctantly asked in what she considered a gentle tone. Class is over. I nodded emotionlessly. Isn't that a redundant question? How could I be here if class wasn't over? It seems her brain really has a problem now. Lu Yan was silent for a few seconds, feeling that lying in the hospital bed had made her stupid. She was a little angry and wanted to lose her temper. But she couldn't take it out on me. Otherwise, if I got angry and left, she would have to face the nurse she detested so much she could only suppress her anger. What's for dinner tonight? After asking, I remembered something and continued. I forgot you can only have porridge now. Luan's expression soured even more. Drinking only liquids for several days straight. Any normal person wouldn't be able to stand it. Li Ruyan felt that her mouth was becoming tasteless. Your mother will bring it, right? Put my school bag aside and sat down on the chair, casually crossing my legs. But wait for your mother to bring it after I eat or go home. This taking care of me until I'm discharged that you mentioned is just visiting me every evening after class and leaving after you eat. Lorian asked coldly. What else? I raised an eyebrow. How else do you want me to take care of you? Personally care for your every need. Fert Lurian was so angry. She laughed. Lean Fang, you just wait. I looked at the ceiling. Anyway, by the time she can move again, she will definitely settle the score with me. When you're deep in debt, you stop worrying. So, while she can't move, provoking her more is the only way not to lose out. If I can anger her to death, that's a huge profit, Lin Fang. Do you think you can anger me to death? This woman's question matched my inner thoughts. I was startled and looked at her with weary eyes. Could she know what I'm thinking? No. How could that be? It must be a coincidence. But I have to admit, this woman is terrifying. A person with no hidden thoughts in front of her is probably no different from being naked. I don't think it's possible. Crossed my arms and quietly looked at the woman before me. My skills are still not enough. You got into a car accident too soon. Give me 2 more years and it would probably work. Luan laughed coldly. Why didn't I notice you were so sharp-tongued before? Before my mind hadn't been enlightened. I was no different from an idiot now that my mind has been enlightened. Don't I seem much smarter? This mouth of mine was inherited from Fang Yuan. It's very difficult to get the upper hand against this mouth of mine. Neither Fang Yuan nor Lu Ruyan are a match for it. After that, neither of them spoke. The hospital room sank into a deathly silence until Shiru arrived and broke the silence. Daughter, I know you have no appetite from just eating porridge. Today, I added a little chicken to the porridge. Can you drink a little more? Unlike usual, where she would pick a fight whenever she saw me today, Shiru acted as if she didn't see me, not until she poured the porridge into a bowl and held it up. Did she give me a cold glance? People are all talk, saying they'll do this and that, but when it's time to do it, they can't. After speaking, she even let out a few mocking laughs. I laughed along, but it was a rather foolish-looking smile. Who is she being sarcastic about here? As long as I don't understand, then it's not about me. I won't respond. Let's see if that annoys you. Lu Ruyan in her hospital bed glanced at me, a hint of a smile in her eyes, seeing that I just smiled foolishly without saying anything. Shiru said angrily, What bad luck? That's right, your daughter was in a car accident. How could it not be bad luck? Can you not mention the words car accident? Shu yelled angrily. Her beloved daughter was suffering so much. She was heartbroken. Those words were unbearable to hear. Fine. I made a zipping motion across my lips, which looked even more infuriating. Ishuru took several deep breaths, reluctantly suppressing the anger in her heart. She grabbed my hand and shoved the bowl into it. Take good care of my daughter. If you were the one who said it, that you would take care of her until she's discharged. You're not allowed to go home tonight either. I looked down at the bowl in my hand. A cunning glint flashed in my eyes. But I have to go to school. School? Shrou's expression changed. Hadn't you already dropped out? Didn't you want Liu Ran and me to divorce? After I divorce her, what else can I do but go back to school? Luckily, my grades were too outstanding. The dean didn't want the medical world to lose a talent like me. He didn't submit my withdrawal application, allowing me to return to school. Otherwise, someone would have ruined my entire life. Lu Ruyan extremely dislikes interfering in her marriage and relationships. By saying this, I think I'm bad-mouthing Suru, while praising myself at the same time, and also being sarcastic as expected. Lu Ruyan's face darkened. Her gaze towards Shuru was a bit gloomy. Shuru guilty avoided her gaze, then stubbornly tried to argue. I wasn't the one who told you to divorce. He was the one who proposed at first. Finishing her sentence, she glared angrily at me. Why is this boy making things up? I shrugged and said with a faint smile, I must have misremembered. I didn't misremember. It was clearly intentional. Anyway, I'm giving a Shiru a way out. Although Shuru was still very unhappy inside, her expression had improved considerably. You stay here tonight and take care of Ruyon. She can't move right now. I don't feel at ease leaving her in someone else's care. Haru pointed at the bowl in my hand. I still have some things to do. You feed Rian the porridge. Easier said than done. Don't feel at ease leaving her in someone else's care. If you don't feel at ease, why don't you take care of her yourself? To put it bluntly, don't you just want to torture me and not let me live in peace? You should be the least at ease leaving her in my care. Who knows? One day, I might be in a bad mood to take revenge on your daughter for my past life. This time, Luan heard my inner thoughts and couldn't laugh anymore. She was now facing a life-threatening danger. This was no joking matter. My expression didn't change as I held the spoon and looked at Luan. Don't worry, I will take good care of her. I placed special emphasis on the words, take care. Liu Yan's gaze darkened, her expression full of warning. I averted my gaze, pretending not to see, seeing that I no longer objected. Shuru didn't say anything more, picked up her bag, and left. As she was leaving, she deliberately said to Ju, Ya, who was standing at the door, if he leaves, let me know. Alright, so even if I didn't want to, I have to stay at the hospital today. If I leave, it would be like stomping all over Exoro's pride. It would be strange if she didn't go crazy. Then after Shu was far away, I fed Lu Ran the porridge. During that time, neither of us said a word. The hospital room was extremely quiet. I noticed Lu Rian's eyes, which had been looking down, suddenly looked up and towards the space behind me, full of suspicion. I turned my head. The woman standing behind me had a tall figure standing very close to me. I felt like I was facing a wall and jumped in surprise. I frowned and looked up and was met with a defiant face. I was very familiar with this woman, Lu Rian's cousin, the daughter of Shu's younger brother, Shuku Kaming Shu Han. Before my rebirth, Wan, just like Lu Ruyan, hated me, and the reason was none other than feeling I wasn't worthy of the cousin she had worshipped since childhood. Every time she saw me, a barrage of mockery and sarcasm was inevitable. If it were just mocking and sarcasm, it would have been fine. Really, I could have chosen to ignore it. It wouldn't have caused me any real harm. But this person, Shu Han, was evil to the core. She would often trip me up behind my back, so I hated her immensely. How could I have forgotten about this dog? Before my rebirth, and was wronged by her countless times. When I have time, I must deal with her. Naturally, Liu Yan also heard my inner thoughts. Her gaze towards Shu Han was a little displeased. This cousin of hers had been a seed of evil since childhood, to mention being narrow-minded and holding grudges. If she disliked someone, even if they hadn't offended her, she would still come up with vicious tricks to harm them. Truly, someone with an extremely dark heart. If this rebirth thing that happened to me is real, then before my rebirth, I must have been bullied by Shu Han countless times. You better restrain yourself, Luan warned. The first thing she said upon seeing Shu Han was this, which reached my ears, and I found it rather confusing. But Shu Han understood Lu Yan's meaning. She raised an eyebrow, feeling a little surprised. Doesn't her cousin hate me? Why is she suddenly protecting me? I didn't want a direct confrontation with Shu Han, so I placed the bowl on the bedside table and stood up to move aside. Liu Ruan looked displeased and said, in a cold voice, I haven't finished the porridge yet. Eating a little less in the evening is good for your health. I smiled faintly. Before Lu Yan could even speak, Shu Han next to her had already sneered and said, Think you're scared of me? So, you don't dare to sit here anymore, right, Miss Su? You are both right and wrong. Have you noticed I always take a detour when I see you at school? I'm afraid of your queenly aura. My constitution is weak. If your queenly aura were to hit me, it would be a disaster if this little life of mine were to end. As I spoke, I bowed to her with a very fawning attitude, but the words from my mouth somehow sounded off. Shu Han's face darkened considerably. In the past, when she bullied me, she didn't even dare to make a peep. Now, for the first time, she's facing my counterattack. It's making her unusually angry. Lin Fang, don't think that just because you married my sister, you've made it big and can look down on everyone. In my sister's eyes, you're nothing. You're nothing. Shu Han has always spoken harshly. I've heard these harsh words countless times in my past life. I've long since become immune. My expression changed slightly, but I still chuckled. Miss Shu, you're overthinking it. I've always had a very clear understanding of myself. You don't need to go to such trouble to intentionally remind me. My words sounded pleasant at first, but they made the listener feel uncomfortable and angry. But getting angry would make one seem too petty. Shu Han was disgusted. The best way to deal with this kind of person is to use the same method against them. Unfortunately, Shu Han doesn't understand this principle. I think you've really been living too comfortably. Shu Hansen strode quickly towards me. Her expression was fierce. If I don't teach you a lesson today, I, Shu Han, will write my name backward. My face was calm. I wasn't the least bit afraid. I even stood still without moving this silly girl. If the story of a miss from the Xu family hitting a man gets in the news, not only the Xu family, but even the Lu family will be caught in a whirlwind of public opinion, leading to a drop in stock prices. The resulting losses would be immeasurable. Go on, make your move. Don't dawdle. Lin's face darkened. She snapped. Shuhan, are you treating me like I don't exist? Shuan stopped in her tracks. She turned her head and said with a slight grievance, Sisters, he's speaking so offensively. Who between you two is really speaking offensively? Shu Ruyan felt both amused and exasperated. She looked at Shu Han with a stern gaze. Even so, you can't hit a man. I wasn't going to hit him, no matter how bad I Shu Han am. I would never hit a man. She's quite principled. I clicked my tongue in regret. She asked with a provocative expression, You weren't going to hit me. So why were you storming over here? Were you perhaps going to give me a massage? Lin Fang Shu Han's eyes were bloodshot. She was almost fuming with anger. No one had ever been able to make her this angry. Though there's a first time for everything, she didn't hope the person giving her this experience would be Lin Fang. How could someone, who used to only be fit to bow his head before her, not only raise his head now, but also deal her such a heavy blow? The more Suhan thought about it, the more upset she got. I'm here. You don't need to call my name so loudly. I cleaned my ear, looking even more infuriating. Lin Fang, I don't know what got into you to dare to provoke me, but I'm not my cousin. You'd better watch out, Shu Han said through gritted teeth. Trying to scare me? I raised an eyebrow. Miss Shu, please don't. I'm really scared. Someone like you. I shouldn't have said that, should I? Sorry. It was a slip of the tongue. Miss Chu, you're a magnanimous person. Please don't take it to heart. Are you about to die from anger? Come on, hit me. In all her life, she had never met someone who actively asked to be beaten. Right now, Lin Fang is either out of his mind or he's mentally ill. Is this something a normal person could think of? Shu Han was truly about to explode with anger. Her fists clenched several times and then relaxed several times. Her whole face clearly said, I want to hit him so badly. But in the end, she knew that hitting a man was not behavior a woman should engage in. Moreover, it was in front of Lu Ran, so the anger stuck in her chest, and the fire of resentment in her stomach could not be released. One can imagine how uncomfortable it was. I saw that Shu Han was just glaring at me fiercely, with no intention of making a move. Hippocrates, I knew it was useless to provoke her any further. I immediately lost interest. I turned and walked towards the water cooler to get some water. Looks like you'll have to find another way to teach her a lesson later. I have to teach her a profound lesson so she won't dare to provoke me again. It would be best if she takes a detour whenever she sees me. Liu Rian heard my inner thoughts. Her expression darkened. Shu Han, don't provoke him in the future, sister. Shu Han stared at her. Are you defending him again? I don't care. He humiliated me like this today. It'll definitely make him pay. I'm just afraid you'll be the one to suffer. Lu Ruan let out an inaudible sigh. She said no more. Perhaps this cousin of hers really needed to be taught a lesson. Her body still ached from time to time. She had no energy to think about these things. She closed her eyes and said, You should go home. I want to rest. Sister, I'm leaving right away. But before I go, I have to ask you a few questions. Shu Han's angry expression changed. Down on the chair with a beaming smile. Li Ruyan opened one eye to glance at her. What? Brother Fang Yuan is back, isn't he? Standing by the water cooler, holding a cup of water, I paused. I raised my eyes to look over. My ears also perked up. If you have nothing else to do, hurry up and go home. Liu Ruyan's expression was displeased. Compared to Liu Ruyan having a change of heart for Lin Fang, Shu Han believed she was just sulking with Fang Yuan, so she leaned in to persuade Liu Ruyan. The Fang Yuan has a proud temperament. Plus, he resents that you agreed with Grandpa back then to marry Lin Fang. It's normal for him to be angry with you, but now that he's finally willing to come back, you can't be angry with him, too. If he gets angry and leaves again, going abroad for several years without returning, you'll regret it then, but it'll be too late. That's right. If he goes abroad for another 5 years and he comes back, the child your sister and I have will be old enough to call him uncle. This follow-up comment of mine successfully made the two women's faces as ugly as if they'd eaten crap. How can there be someone who speaks so despicably? A miracle Lin Fong hasn't been beaten to a pulp growing up. Why are you all looking at me? I blinked. Was I wrong? You still want to have a child with my sister? You really don't look like much, but you sure dream big. Shu Han's face was full of ridicule. I'm dreaming big. Your sister and I are a legally married couple now. Think about it. A single man and woman living in the same room day after day and sleeping in the same bed at night. I don't believe that in 5 years we wouldn't be able to make a child unless your sister is incapable. After speaking, I looked towards Liu Ran. A meaningful smile appeared on my face. Liu Ran felt deeply humiliated. A blush spread across her face. It wasn't out of shyness, purely out of anger. Aren't you forgetting another possibility? Liu Ruan's beautiful face was frosty. I raised an eyebrow. What? Isn't it just not sleeping with me? I can guess all your little tricks. Being able to hear other people's inner thoughts. Can I make this superpower disappear? She's afraid that, if it doesn't disappear during this hospital stay, she'll lose at least 10 years of her life. Both of you, get out. Lu Yan closed her eyes wearily. I want to rest. Sister, you and brother Fang Yuan. Didn't you hear what I said? Lu Yan's eyes snapped open. Her gaze was terrifyingly cold. My love life. Since when is it your place to ask about it? Why don't you worry about yourself first? Anyone who knows Lu Ran knows that this look means she doesn't want to hear another word. Although Shu Han was unwilling, she still made the smart choice to leave quietly. After she was long gone, I acted as if nothing had just happened. I calmly went into the bathroom. When I came out, there were watermarks on my face. It was obvious I had just washed my face. I'm still young. This is the time when my skin is smooth. Plus, my skin is fair. My chiseled face under the light was like a peeled egg. It made one want to reach out and pinch it to see if it felt like a peeled egg. Lu Yan stared at me. Her gaze was deep. A youth full of sunny vitality like this once loved her with his entire life wholeheartedly, but she threw him away like a worn-out shoe. She couldn't imagine, before my rebirth, what kind of treatment she had subjected me to. To hear such mournful inner thoughts from me in the dead of night. Lurian's mood was complicated, but I didn't have so many complicated thoughts. Right now, I just want to get a good night's sleep so I can go to school tomorrow feeling refreshed until I lay down on the bed and got under the covers. I didn't even glance at Luan. I completely treated her like thin air. A flash of displeasure appeared in Liu Rian's eyes. Coughed lightly, trying to get my attention. I guess I gave her some face. I looked at her. What's wrong? Is your throat bothering you? Yeah. Luan coughed a few more times. Pour me some water. I had just laid down. I really didn't want to get it up. But I had no choice. Finally, I reluctantly got out of bed. After pouring a glass of water and coming back, my movements as I gave Lu Ran a drink were clearly rough. It could no longer be called giving her a drink, but rather pouring water. Cough. Hey, Lin Fang. Finally, with my efforts, Lurian's defenses failed. She choked and coughed violently. Sorry, I'm too sleepy. So, I was a bit distracted. This apology could be said to have absolutely no sincerity. It was just short of writing 6 words on my face. I'm doing this on purpose. Who told you to torment me? See if you dare to torment me again. May you die of thirst. My inner thoughts could be described as vicious. Sparks flew from Liu Ruan's eyes. Just as she was about to teach me a lesson, she suddenly saw something. She was stunned. After a few seconds, her anger turned into a smile. Lin Fang, what are you using my towel for? I turned my head to look at the light blue towel hanging on the doorknob. I answered absent-mindedly, wiping my feet. That's the towel I use to wipe my face. For the past few days, a nurse has been using this towel to wipe her face every day. She was all too familiar with it. I put on a very exaggerated look of surprise. I didn't know. So the past few days I was here, I also used it to wipe my feet. Could it be that I didn't finish my sentence. I covered my mouth with my hand. I gave her a look that was both disgusted and a little pitying. Li Ruyan said nothing. She just looked at me with a very cold gaze. After an unknown amount of time, the corners of her mouth slowly curved up. She let out a meaningful laugh. I suspect she's been driven mad by my provocations. What if I drive her crazy, and she insists on getting out of her hospital bed to deal with me? That wouldn't be good. Maybe I should restrain myself a bit. Well, I was just kidding. Don't take it seriously. Yuran didn't believe my nonsense at all. Her face darkened as she called out, Julia, come in. My face stiffened. I had a bad feeling in my heart. This woman is up to no good. Julia had been standing outside the door all along. Hearing the call, she pushed the door open and walked in. Her eyes swept across my face. A hint of a smile flashed in her eyes. Miss Liu. Julia walked to the bedside and stood still. She bowed slightly. What are your instructions? Starting today, keep an eye on the man behind you. Don't let him take a single step out of this hospital. As soon as I heard that, I exploded. I yelled, on what grounds are you restricting my personal freedom? On the grounds that I am now your legal wife. Li Ruyan sneered. Even if I wasn't. I don't want you to leave this hospital. What can you do to me? I was so angry I was speechless. What's the fun in using power to crush people? Kay went against me. Can you? This was the first time Lu Ran had seen me, so angry I was at a loss for words. Her mood immediately improved quite a bit. When you learn to be obedient, they'll let you go. Otherwise, you can just wait until I'm discharged. Then you can leave with me. I narrowed my eyes and looked at Lu Ruyan. Why was I so blind back then to fall for this kind of woman? Is it just because she's beautiful? I didn't feel it before my rebirth, but now it seems it's most likely the case. Because, after removing the rose-coloured glasses, I've discovered that besides her beautiful appearance, there's nothing good about this woman. To hearing my inner thoughts, Lu Ruyan's eyes darkened. She understood that I resent her very much now. Treating me this way will only make me resent her more, but I've always been like a porcupine. The weak person inside me is heavily protected. Anyone who touches it gets pricked, full of aggression. She's already tried the soft approach. I don't want to talk to her nicely. Now she can only use this last resort. First, keep me by her side. Don't let me run around. Boil the frog in warm water slowly. Or later, it'll calm down and talk to her. All right, fine. What else can I do? I sat on the bed and started to give up. Then, I won't go to school anymore. I'll just focus on taking care of you here. I looked at Lu Ruyan. I tilted my head, smiled, and continued. Promise I'll take good care of you. When you're discharged, you look like you were never in a car accident. It was obviously a sarcastic remark. It'd be strange if Lu Ruyan couldn't tell, but her expression didn't change. She nodded faintly and said, Okay, hope you can do what you say. At this moment, my mind was blank. Lu Ruyan couldn't guess my thoughts either, so she didn't say anything more. I lay down on the bed again, lying on my side facing the wall. I silently gritted my teeth. You damned woman. Putting me under house arrest, are you? Then, just you wait before you're discharged. Don't even think about having a peaceful day. You locked me up once in my past life. You took my life. This time, I won't let you order me around no matter what. Forda Liu Ran was concentrating on listening to my inner thoughts. Her brows furrowed slightly. Locked me up once. Took my life. Lock me up where? Luan continued to listen to my inner thoughts with questions in her mind, but she couldn't get any valuable information. It tilted her head to look at the young man on the other bed. She saw that I had turned over at some point. Facing her, eyes closed, drowsy with sleep. She gritted her teeth in anger. She's over here thinking about my rebirth, about what I went through, thinking until her head hurts, and I'm just great falling asleep. You really have some nerve. Lu Ruyan fumed by herself for a long time before she also so closed her eyes to sleep. A dreamless night. When I woke up in the morning, Lu Ran was still asleep. He glanced at the phone on the bedside table. I picked it up and turned it on. Please bring my song to your home. Please leave your smile behind. A children's song echoed throughout the hospital room. Liu Ruyan in her sleep frowned deeply. She quickly opened her eyes. She looked at me with a face full of anger. What are you trying to do, listening to music? I smiled brightly. I have a habit of listening to music when I wake up. Sorry, did I disturb you? You knew you would disturb me and you still turned it on? Lu Ruyan wished she could move. Otherwise, she would definitely get up and strangle this man. I shrugged. Usually, I wake up alone, so for a moment I forgot about your existence. Luan took a deep breath. A living person was lying right across from me, and yet I could say something like that. That's right. I did it on purpose. Turn it off for me, Lu Ruyan ordered coldly. Since you're already awake, why would I turn it off? Listen to some music with me for a while. Listening to music can make you happy. Once you're in a good mood, your body will recover faster. I'm doing this for your own good. If Lu Yang couldn't hear my inner thoughts, she might have actually believed this nonsense of mine. This man is just retaliating against her for not letting him leave the hospital. He's cursing her to death in his heart. I have plenty of time to teach you to be obedient. Lurian sneered. Let's see if you can endure it, or if I can. My eyes sharpened. I didn't say anything else. Besides scaring people, you don't know anything else, do you? Lu Ruyan's lips curled. Let's not worry about whether she knows anything else for now. This move is effective. As long as it can make me shut up and stop provoking people, that's enough. Jua brings breakfast every day at 7:00 sharp. As soon as it turned 7, Jua knocked on the door. Yuruyan looked at the hospital room door. Come in. As soon as she finished speaking, door was pushed open. Jua came in and placed 2 insulated lunch boxes on the bedside table. Then she bowed slightly and said to Lu Ruan, Miss Lu, the document you need to look over. Lu Ran nodded faintly. I stared at Zuya and asked, Are you the one standing guard outside every day? Don't you need to rest? I'm not always on guard here. Another colleague takes shifts with me to stand guard outside. After Zuya opened the document, she turned her head and said slowly, That's quite a coincidence. Every time I come, it's you. The smile on my face was sweet. Under the sunlight from the window, I was handsome and charming. Lu Ruan glanced at me. She felt a little annoyed. She didn't say anything. Juya held the document. After Lu Ran finished reading a page, she would nod. Then she would turn the page. A stack of documents was quickly reviewed. "You can sign for me," Lu Ran said in a faint voice. "Yes." Jua closed the document. About to leave when I looked up at her. "Have you had breakfast?" "Yes, I have." Jua paused for a moment, then she added another sentence. "Thank you for your concern." I smiled. I didn't say anything more. "Jua, what are you still standing here for?" Lu Wan looked at the two of us unhappily. Juya didn't dare to stay any longer. She nodded at me, then she hurried out of the hospital room. Why be so fierce having a boss like that? I really feel sorry for Jua. Lu Wan laughed an angry laugh. In my eyes, suddenly laughing like that is actually quite scary. I looked away with a disgusted expression. Lu Ran was truly infuriated by me. She said coldly, "Lin Fang, from now on, you will focus on taking care of me. If I'm not satisfied, I won't leave the hospital. What you're doing is so pointless." My expression turned ugly. "Fang Yuan is back. Why don't you have him come take care of you? Why do you keep clinging to me?" Luan sneered. "Because I want to." A mocking smile appeared on my face. "I think you just can't bear to let him suffer, Luan. Could you be any worse? Is only Fang Yuan a person? And I'm not a person, but a ghost." If Lu Yan admitted to my words now, it would definitely provoke me. But Lu Yan didn't want me to despise her even more. So, she slowly shook her head. "I just feel that you're easier to order around." "What the hell do you mean? I'm easier to order around?" The expression on my face was indescribable. "Lu Yan, did the doctor say, if there's anything wrong with your head right now, if there are no problems, I think it might be a misdiagnosis. Rest assured, my mind is perfectly fine." Lu Ruyan smirked. "It's more than enough to teach you a lesson." Lu Ruyan's eyes were long and slender. When she wasn't smiling, she looked very cold, giving off a very unapproachable vibe. But when she smiled, she looked very charming, incredibly captivating. In the past, it was because of one of Lu Ruyan's smiles that I fell in love with her at first sight. Every time I met Lu Ruyan, I always hoped she would smile at me. Fortunately, Lu Ruyan didn't like to smile. Even if she did, she only smiled at Fang Yuan. Towards me, she always had a cold expression, so after being reborn, I hated Lu Ruyan's smile. It was this very smile that once led me step by step into the abyss from which I could never recover. My mood suddenly hit rock bottom. I avoided Lu Ruyan's gaze and said coldly, "Suit yourself. I'm going to wash my face." After speaking, I quickly turned and entered the bathroom. Closing the door, I stood in front of the sink and turned on the tap. I set it to cold water, cupped a handful and splashed it on my face. Before I was reborn, the trauma I suffered was too deep. And even though I've thought things through since being reborn, the pain I once endured was real. It can't just disappear. It will take a lifetime to heal. I can't go on like this anymore. Between me and Lu Ruyan, there should be a sufficient distance. Can't be affected by her even a little bit anymore. It'll just endure it until she's discharged from the hospital. From then on, she'll go her way, and it'll go mine. We won't interfere with each other. Having made my decision, I finished washing my face and walked out of the bathroom. I walked to the bedside table and expressionlessly opened the 2 thermal lunchboxes. I prepared to feed Lu Yan. What I had just been thinking in the bathroom was all heard by Lu Ruyan. She looked at me with a complicated expression. She wanted to say something, but in a situation where I was extremely resistant to her, there was really nothing to say. After some thought, she chose to remain silent. I strictly followed the decision I had just made. Trapped in the bathroom, I obediently fed Lu Ruyan. I didn't say a single word during that time. The two of us once again fell into a strange silence. There wasn't even an inclination to break this silence. After I finished feeding Lu Yan, I opened the remaining thermal lunchbox to eat. After eating, I looked at Lu Yan and said casually, "I can't stay away from school for a long time. You'll help me sort it out, right?" Lu Ruyan nodded. "You'll have Zuya inform your school." For Lu Yan, it was a trivial matter. Just one word was enough. This is the benefit of having money and power. You can solve 99% of your troubles. The rest is because you're not rich or powerful enough. "Thanks." I stood up from the chair. "I'm going to get the medicine from the nurse. The nurse will come by herself later." I acted as if I didn't hear Lu Ruyan's words, turned around and left. I just wanted to do my best to spend less time in the same space as Li Ran. The less the better. Otherwise, I was afraid I wouldn't be able to resist mocking her again. Pay less attention to Li Ran. This phrase will be my motto for the time.